We are live on 14 out of 15 channels. We did reconnect to the other Facebook channel. Hey, Nick, what's up, buddy? It looks as though we did it, but I'm waiting for it to register. It's not registering on Restream for some reason, but I see you guys are on Facebook, so it looks like we're live on Facebook. Hey, Debbie, Starlink. Hey, Token Dave, Zachariah Guidry, hello. I knew when my sound was good. Really, the sound makes a big difference, huh? It's crazy. Restream just amplifies the sound or something, makes it louder. I don't know, man. My microphones are pretty far away, actually, right now. They're not even pointed at me. Discard and exit. Okay, let's go to my page here. See if it shows me. Yep, there I am. Oh, wait, it says so truckers can block roads, but BLM can't. Okay, that's the wrong title, but that's okay. We're live. So good. We can I'm going to just switch back to my other Facebook account. Switch back to my main account there. Well, I got to tell you, the Starlink install is so easy, man. Once you know how to do it, you pull it out of the box. I didn't even use the new cable, bro. I used the old cable, run through the wall, right? So I plug in the fucking satellite on one side. I plug in it was so easy, man. Plug in the router. I had come up with a name and password, and boom, up and running. Did the speed test. Amazing speed, dude. I was getting like 200 megs. Crazy. So, yeah, my truck's so loud, it's hard to hear when you aren't using the new-ish platform to stream. Yeah, your audio is way better on the Starlink. Steve Running, hello. So, Kevin Vaught, hello. So, you guys, you might not know this. I got to refresh the chat. I'm not getting a chat number. I want to say hi to all of you, and if you guys don't realize that this happened, fucking Jimmy Dore ratioed me on Twitter. Now, yeah, it came as a shock. And you remember the other day when I said, man, I wish anybody would just fucking ratio me. It would be nice. I don't care. It would be something. It would be better than, laying dead on the side of the road. I mean, at least I'm getting hit by a few cars now, because I'm in the middle of the road now. Jimmy Dore fucking ratioed me on Twitter like a little bitch. And, of course, his audience members consist of a lot of people who are new Twitter accounts. So they just go over and they like it. They don't comment. They just like it and keep going. They didn't even read into it or anything or engage. I picked up one follower from all that, and he picked up two. And he's trying to rub it in my face. He's like, oh, the follow. Jimmy, how dare you, man? I'm a nobody. Talk about you don't punch down. Are you kidding me? You're beating the fuck out of me. I mean, I asked for it. I'm getting some kind of attention. But the thing that's driving me crazy right now is I'm not seeing your chat. So let me refresh the chat again. I don't know what happened. Lost the chat in 9. You guys, am I live? Are we live? Can anybody respond at all? StreamYard seems to glitch a lot and freeze. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we're live? Okay, cool. Good. You guys didn't respond. I told you that Jimmy Dore ratioed me, and I didn't get any chats. Maybe you guys said something. Okay, thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and I'll say it again. All right, so I was on Twitter today, and you know me, I'm always pecking at Jimmy Dore, and he never responds. Well, today he fucking ratioed me. He responded, and he responded many times, and he's not happy with me at all. Too goddamn bad. Hey, stop platforming Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and stop platforming that Dr. Robert Malone and that Dr. other guy whose name I can't remember. John something or other from the UK. You know, maybe stop platforming them and pretending that I didn't bring any fucking food to set on your table, Jimmy, because I did. And that was his tweet was, oh, you come here and you put up all these videos with no context. I'm like, the context, bunk your guest. That's the context. Not to yell. Once again, I'm going to try this again. You guys are just leaving and nobody's saying anything. Okay. Token Dave is saying it's glitching. Nick Brown says it froze for a second. You guys, am I losing my connection to y'all or what? What's going on? Do we not have a good show here? I mean, I'm monitoring my StreamYard says it's perfect. I mean, there was a blackout 2 minutes ago. I don't know how long the blackout lasted for, but it says it's perfect. I mean, it's even in real time. Hey, Killer GB. Do any of you have any comments to make at all about this? All right, I'll say it one more time. Okay. So, I went on Twitter today. I fucking tweeted at Jimmy Dore. He fucking tweeted back at me a whole bunch, man. He got mad at me. He fucking started, like, you know, ratioing me on Twitter. Finally, Jimmy Dore finally spoke to me. He finally said words to me on Twitter. It only took fucking years of me calling him out repeatedly. He finally saw one of my fucking pathetic little tweets. And he didn't like it. Are any of you with me at all? You got any comments to say about this at all? Besides Diana telling me that she is here? I mean, how do you feel about this? Do you have a comment to make? I mean, I'm not surprised, you guys. I'm not surprised you have no comments to make at this at all. I'm not surprised you guys weren't on Twitter at all. Didn't see any of you on Twitter. And Steve Running just says yes. You're driving. Okay, you're driving. Steve Running says fucked up. Okay, Steve, thank you. That's something. Anybody else? Oh. Nothing. Not a peep. Not a word from y'all. I mean, if this chat's not moving, I'm not seeing your chat, obviously. Chat's not moving. Is anybody saying anything and I'm just not seeing the chats or what? You guys have nothing to say about the fact that Jimmy Dore finally paid attention to me? Jimmy Dore finally heard my voice? Jimmy got pissed finally. Well, it's just the fact, Steve Running, it's just the fact that Jimmy Dore acknowledged me, that I'm a human being with a voice that matters. You know, and you know what he told me is that I missed the point. He put up some stupid meme of me missing the point. I said, it's not about me missing the point. It's about you trying to make points with people that are unreputable sources of information. It's about time he recognizes me. Thank you, Nick. Yes. Be careful driving. I know you're struggling over there, man, trying to keep the show going because no one else will, and you're the only one driving a vehicle. Oh, Steve Running could say 3 words. Thanks, Steve. Well, 5 words. Thanks, Steve. Steve Running is a man of many words. Potatoes came out of my my garden. Found them today. Was down there cleaning, doing a lot of work outside. And I was like, man, I wonder if any potatoes grew. I never really checked. You know, and sure enough, man, that's the size of a potato you get from a store right there. Look at that. It's just, that's the biggest one, and it's too bad I didn't get a lot. I'd like to learn how to grow potatoes better. Hey, Brian. Man, I don't even know about this fucking audience, man. I have a feeling that one day I will find an audience. One day I will find an audience with enough people that are going to respond to me. It's just not today. It's too bad. You guys can't seem to cut the mustard, Take my advice or listen to things I talk about. You supported Jimmy Dore for even know who he was without you. Thank you, Nick. Wow, man. More comments like that, please. I'm going to go ahead and tweet that, buddy. All the fucking people that are just jumping on my shit on Twitter because they're fans of Jimmy Dore and not actually reading the context of what's being said or understanding it. At least Nick Brown gets it. I'm just glad Jimmy Dore didn't block me on fucking Twitter. My fault. I've got you on in the background. Oh, that's okay, buddy. I'd rather you have me on than not. Did you fix the old dish or did they send you? They sent me a new one really fast. They sent me a whole new system, brand new fucking router, brand new fucking dish, brand new cable, everything. I already had. Oh, and by the way, I'm hardwired into it now. So there's no Wi-Fi. Remember the Wi-Fi? Yeah, man, I'm hardwired into it now. I bought the thing. It was $20. Finally got me on the radar. Yeah, Token Dave, right? It's crazy. He finally responded. And all the times I've ever promoted him and said good things, the only time that one time that he finally responds to me is because I said something, that I didn't agree with him on. And you guys, I don't know, the lack of interest you guys are showing in all this right now makes me not even want to bring up the tweets to show you what happened on Twitter. I mean, the fact that none of you bothered to go to fucking Twitter today while, Jimmy Dore was fucking destroying me and you gave me no support, it's like I don't even want to fucking talk about it because I know you guys don't care. Because if you cared, you'd be on Twitter fucking helping me. Not one of you was there. And I'm not saying like that other guy said, oh, I'm sicking you on somebody. I'm not. I'm just saying it would have been nice if you guys had even been there to see it, Hardwire's the way to go. Yeah, hardwire's the way to go. It certainly is. Why did you send me a video of Joe Rogan hitting on Miley Cyrus? Oracle. That's weird. Crumbling regimes always. Crumbling regimes always resort to this. Well, can't please everyone, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to bother bringing up the Twitter feed to show you guys. Yeah, I think I'm just going to smoke a little bit. And I will find another audience, man. I'm supportive. It's not y'all, but it'll be some good people, I'm sure. You know? It'll be the audience that I deserve someday. I'm sure I will get them. Hey, Mark, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you here, brother. I'm not feeling too supported today. That's good to see you. Hey, Dolch, what's up, brother? Haven't seen you in forever. Yeah, and you know, just so you all know, I went on YouTube today and I debunked all of the bullshit that doctor was saying on Jimmy Dore's show. They've got a lot of videos on YouTube debunking that guy, that doctor. I can't think of his name, but yeah, the guy is just totally full of bullshit. And Jimmy sits there and puts him up on a pedestal and acts like he's gold. And you know, there's plenty of information. If I thought you guys gave a goddamn shred of interest in anything that I fucking say on here by supporting me on Twitter, you know, by speaking to me in the fucking chat, you know, by just coming to Twitter and fucking, you don't have to say shit to Jimmy. How about just coming on there and showing me that you're fucking there and showing some support? I'm getting ratioed fucking, you know, 100 of his viewers to none of mine. And none of them are obviously reading the goddamn context of it because they'd see that I was right because I fucking proved my point. And like I said, I could read it to you and I could prove it to you, but y'all just don't seem fucking interested in it at all. And your silence now proves it. Thank you. Thank you for proving me right. No, it was the one time I didn't want to fucking be right. And your silence has just proven that I'm right. Oh, man. What the fuck is that? Dirt on my goddamn little chunk of dirt sitting on my table from my boot somehow. I don't know how the fuck that got up there. I just don't know what we're talking about, so I don't want to say nothing stupid. Well, Big Mark, I appreciate you, brother. I'll tell you what we're talking about since Dolch got here late too. I got on Twitter today. Jimmy Dore had put up a tweet of a funny video, a cute video of this girl that was saying that, you know, because of CNN now, she guesses that everything she disagrees with is right wing. And my response to that was, no, Jimmy, gerrymandering is right wing. I said, voting against a woman's right to choose what goes inside her body, that's right wing. I said, voting for Donald Trump, that's right wing. I said, you know, since you seem to have forgotten some of that. You've seen that. I wasn't talking about Malone, Turbo Jerko. I was talking about another doctor. You fucking dumb douchebag. I tried to call you a cunt and a douchebag at the same time. Came out Duke. Fucking cunt, douchebag. You fucking cunt, fucking. Let me just call you a dumb cunt, motherfucker. What are you talking about, Malone? Talking about this Dr. John fucking douchebag that Jimmy always has on his fucking show. The British guy. And that guy, go see all the doctors who are debunking that guy on YouTube. Not Dr. Robert Malone. You know who I'm talking about? The guy who looks like the Swedish chef from the Muppets? Is it the Swedish chef? Yeah. That guy. That doctor. Dude, I'm not going to go after Malone, and I'll tell you why. So he invented something, and that's supposed to make him an expert in the field. I'm just going to say he doesn't. And obviously, from listening to what Malone has said, I know he's not an expert anymore because he doesn't even make fucking sense anymore. But that's not who I'm talking about. You know, you want me to go after Malone? I will, man. I bet you I could pull up a ton of debunking videos about him, too. These scientists and doctors that debunk these guys, they take this shit very seriously, man. There's some very in-depth debunking going on. And these doctors, they don't give a fuck about their audiences. Jimmy Dore doesn't care about y'all. I couldn't believe that he even responded to me on Twitter finally. You know, and for what? So that he could have all of his lackeys liking and retweet, not even retweeting, they're just liking. Nobody's got a comment. No one wants to jump in. I mean, to what end? He's punching down at me. You know, it doesn't even make sense. He's losing his mind. I don't know. Maybe he does give a fuck about me. Maybe he does know who I am. Maybe he does know I'm the guy who makes his pain go away. I don't know. I figure he doesn't. You know? I sent him all kinds of messages today. I fucking opted out of his goddamn website, you know, $120 a year, whatever membership for, you know, belonging to the Jimmy Dore show. I canceled my membership today. Granted, it just renewed, so it's good for a whole year. So I'm still, Jimmy was pretty civil in that tweet. No, man, it's not that. It's not. You're not being civil when you try to put something lightly and you're lying. That's not being civil. I didn't miss the fucking point at all. The point didn't go over my head at all. In fact, I made the fucking point. Jimmy's losing sight of who the goddamn right-wingers are, man. You know, he's losing sight. And granted, the left wing is just as fucked. But, man, he's leaning fucking right now? Are you kidding me? You know, which I know he's not leaning right. But at the same time, man, it just pisses me off that he doesn't want to call these cunts out for what they are. You know, anti-abortion. Fuck them. You know, and that's a goddamn affront to me and every woman that I've ever known my entire life. You can't put these cunts up on a pedestal, and he keeps fucking doing it. And it's not just about the goddamn COVID thing. It's about a lot of things. Jimmy's been fucking up for years, man. You could make a goddamn highlight reel off of my show over 5 years span of every time Jimmy ever fucked up and I called him out on it because I was watching him closely, man. I watched all of his shows. You know, so when he wasn't making sense, I had to fucking call it out. I told him, I'm like, dude, if you just wouldn't talk about this subject all the time, I wouldn't have such a problem with you. But it's all you ever talk about now. You know, and then you use these stupid morons as pieces of straw to say that, oh, they agree with, the fucking douchebag Republican senator agreed with Jimmy Dore. And he thought, oh, what a great man. This guy agrees with me. Dude, that guy's the guy that said stop the steal, bro. Are you kidding me? He's the Stop the Steal fucking angel of the Stop the Steal movement. And Jimmy won't fucking acknowledge that while he's saying that the guy agreed with him on one point, you know, that our freedoms are being taken away. I think it's issue by issue these days. People on the left say no abortion, but they want to force you to inject something. Yeah, well, they're not really forcing you, are they, buddy? I didn't see Biden forcing you to take anything. I mean, unless you're an interstate trucker, and then I sympathize with you. You shouldn't be forced to fucking take an injection. I agree. Losing your job is force. Well, dude, you have to remember it depends on who you're working for. And if they say you need to get vaccinated to work for them, that's their business. And when I say business, I mean that's their fucking corporation that they own. And they can designate who works there and who doesn't. And if you don't want to lose your job, go get a goddamn vaccine like I did. And I don't even have a job, bro. I still got vaccinated and boosted. You know why? Because I didn't want to get so sick that I couldn't take care of myself. And I didn't want to get somebody else so sick that they fucking died. It's just about personal responsibility and taking a little risk for the rest of fucking humanity. If I get some side effects, I'll let you know. If my hair starts fucking falling out, I'll let you know. Checking it every day. Poor guy can't even speak right. Like wearing a seatbelt. Doesn't affect me. You want to not get injected, and I'll stay the fuck away from you. Fine, I'll stay away from you. I won't go to an event and hang around people, period. It's fine. That's why I'm okay with it. I feel bad. You're not down with that. I'm with you, Turbo. I'm with you. I totally agree with you. I'm triple vaxxed, boosted. And I agree with you that no one should be mandated. I wouldn't mind mandating pigs and politicians. But that's just my own personal bias. And I'll admit that. I would love to mandate pigs. Every pig, you got to get a vax. Fuck you. You got to get boosted. Fuck you. You said serve and protect. You're going to protect me against you giving me a goddamn virus. Get the goddamn vaccine like I did. You fucking pig. But that's how I feel about pigs. That's a little vengeance. Hey, I ain't perfect, Turbo. I'm not fucking perfect. But if 50% of those Jimmy Dore fans that gave him a like on him bashing me on Twitter would come here and listen to my show, they'd realize, hey, man, that guy totally makes sense. That guy totally makes sense. What's his deal with Jimmy Dore? He's totally making sense. He's not lying. He's not making anything up. What's his deal with Jimmy Dore? Oh, let me explain to you what Jimmy Dore said, what he does, how he presents things, how he only presents one side of some things. And I don't like it. I like it when he presents one side of things. It benefits my goddamn narrative. But he's going against the very truth that is the fabric of society. I got to call him out, man. He doesn't get to goddamn misrepresent the facts. And I'm not going to sit by and let him. And if I get ratioed for it on Twitter, which I did horribly, I'm not ever going to recover from that. There's no coming back from that. In fact, his Discord group fucking followed me on Twitter. Jimmy Dore's Discord group of hundreds of people followed me, and a lot of you won't even do it. You thought I was a Jimmy fan? I am a Jimmy Dore fan. I'll always be a fan of Jimmy Dore. But I'm not paying him $150, $120 a month anymore to listen to him misrepresent facts, to listen to him slant shit. I'll always love him. That's why this hurts so much. Take it on the chin and roll on. Someone told me that on Twitter. Someone said, bro, you got your 15 minutes of fame. Now you better. Oh, no. Jimmy said, take it on the chin. And I said, Jimmy, I've been bashing you on my live stream for years. Anytime you ever slipped. The only thing was you ignore me. So you don't know about anything that I've ever said about you ever. And if you did, you never responded and let me know. It would have just made my whole goddamn life like this ratioing thing finally has. I finally feel like I count. I finally feel like I exist, among the community that I have always thought I was a part of. The podcasters of YouTube, the Twitter sphere, all that shit. Alan Dale says, I see. Yeah. I just liked your Jimmy Dore. Oh, Stephanie, I love you. Thank you, honey. Don't tell your boyfriend. But thank you. I'd follow you into the burning sun, but still have to figure out how we will make a rocket. Well, Oracle, are you over there saying stuff on the Jimmy Dore threads at all? Are you retweeting them, liking them, and putting your commentary on there? I'd love to hear what you have to say about all that stuff. You know, it breaks my heart when what I have begged years for was to have a little attention from Jimmy Dore. When I finally get it, and I have to come on my podcast to tell all of you about it. That none of you knew from just checking your Twitter feeds today, man. It breaks my heart. And now it finally happened. And I told you guys, you know, some of you might feel a little left out because you missed the whole correspondence between me and Jimmy. And there was a lot, man. There was a lot of back and forth going on. Still, none of you have expressed any interest in hearing any of it at all in the chat. Not one of you. And you know, if it doesn't appear here on the screen, I don't see it. So there's no excuses. None of you have said, nay, will you show us the tweets, man? I'm interested. You guys used to act like that. You know, when I get like this, I act like a little bitch. You know, I just begging you guys for some attention and some support. You guys used to play and you would play ball with me and somebody would fucking throw me a goddamn lifeline. None of you have thrown me a fucking lifeline yet. I want you to know that. I'm hanging out here, my fucking dick in the wind. Oh, Josh G. Oh, Josh G. Thank you. You're the first. You're the first person to think, hey, what's Nate talking about? I'm kind of curious about that. Kind of like to see what it is. No, I'd like to show you if you guys would act like you're interested in it. You know, you already proved to me you weren't being supportive of me today while it was going on. After I tell you every day to join Twitter, turn on notifications, come over there and support me, it would be so much fun. Jimmy Dore finally ratios me like a little bitch. Okay? And none of you guys know about it. We were all, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trending by the end of the fucking day. He ratioed me so fucking hard. My butt hurts. He ratioed me so hard. I came here because of the tweet. Did you, Turbo? Turbo, were you talking to me on Twitter? Was that you that said 15 minutes of fame? Somebody said to me, they're like, hey man, are you enjoying your 15 minutes of fame? You better play it right. Somebody, it's the best goddamn tweet. I got such a kick out of it. I retweeted it. You're talking about why you bizzling my bezel. Right on, Randy. I think today will be good for you. I bet on it. I hope so, man. I hope so. Because, you know, what I've ever wanted people to do is just listen to what the fuck I've got to offer. Because I think it's going to help a lot of people. I'm just preaching the truth, man. And not my truth. I'm just preaching the truth. And when I get shit wrong, I admit it. I got shit wrong. You know? Jimmy's got a lot of catching up to do as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Nick, I'm going to bring it up on screen. We'll talk about it. You guys are hilarious. I'm butthurt. Understand that. You know, he's really hurt my feelings. The big streamers rarely show the smaller streamers love. They think it takes away from them. Allendale Vergara, let me tell you something. Jimmy Dore interacting with me today means everything. And I only wish it had been on good terms. That I didn't have to fucking troll it out of him. All I ever wanted from Jimmy Dore was a little fucking attention, man. Seriously. You know? I've offered so much to that man. I've given so much to that man. And never got buckus back. And I didn't expect anything back. But I thought that if he was seeing what I was tweeting at him, he would at least respond and let me know. And that is all I ever wanted, was to have that conversation, man. And gone on his show and super chatted him and done so many other things. I knew he's a busy guy. I don't expect anything back, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just going to keep doing me. And son of a fuck, if he picks one of the harshest criticisms I get on him, now he's going to fucking respond. And all it was, and I'd already just fucking found something else to fucking send to him, and I did. And 10 minutes later, he attacks me on another thread that I had responded to. And I'm like, whoa, Jimmy Dore's talking to me on Twitter. I was like, it had to be that thing I sent him, right? Nope. It was in response to a tweet that he had retweeted. And of everything that he's going to respond to, I never in a million years thought he'd even see it. I was just appealing to his audience, really. So let me show you what happened. All right. Jimmy put up a video. Token Dave, you messaged me? You be messaging me, son? On Twitter? What's up? Okay. Jimmy puts up a video on Twitter, and it's cute, and I totally agree with the video, actually. You know, it's just, this is the kind of video that I feel is part of the problem of him only one-siding his narrative. Okay? So, you know how we're always talking about CNN and Fox News and all the news and all that shit? And I'm like, it's all bad, but I'll usually pull most of my stories from CNN, but they're usually sourced out. You know, it's usually CNN says where the source is and whatever. Fox News doesn't do that shit. And they're so right-wing, right? Well, this video is perfect for me because it says everything that you disagree with is right-wing, right? So here is Jimmy Dore's retweet of somebody else's comedic bit that they did regarding, you know, everything that a left-winger disagrees with must be right-wing. You let me know if you feel like this personifies me.
I cannot believe he broke up with you over text. That is so right-wing. Babe, do these jeans make me look right-wing? Snape is so right-wing. What? That is so right-wing! Oh, so right-wing. Ow! Racist. I cannot believe he broke up with you over text. That is...
Dude, I love the twist at the end. So cute, funny. I agree. I totally agree with the sentiment of that video. Do I feel like that video personifies me? No, not at all. I've got a lot of problem with the right wing. Most of it is their core issues. The woman's right to choose. Can we drop that? You want to drop that? Gerrymandering. You want to stop doing that? You want to stop gerrymandering? We could talk about that. That's fine. And you know, the whole, let's just say it, you know, the whole stop the steal thing, it's their inability to believe science. And I responded basically because you guys know how I feel, right? So this is what I said to Jimmy, man. And this is what got me fucking ratioed like a little bitch on Twitter today. I said, make this bigger so you can see it. I said, no, Jimmy. I said, right wing includes stuff like denying a woman's right to choose, gerrymandering, ignoring science, crying that your freedom is being stolen if you don't like something, silencing criticism of America like CRT, you know, critical race theory. We talk about it on here all the time. And electing leaders like Trump, McConnell, and Lindsey Graham. And then I gave him the eye roll. And I thought to myself, maybe one of his followers will see it and I'll pick up another subscriber. You know, that's what I always think on Twitter because Jimmy Dore has never responded to me before. Well, look, you guys to know that what's ratioing? It's when somebody responds to your tweet and they get more likes than you do. Now, I got 1 like, no retweets, no comments. That's what it says on there, at least. But if we scroll down, Jimmy Dore, someone said nice ratio, right? Because it's true. Jimmy Dore responded 2 hours ago. He said, the point, and it's going over my head, that I missed the point. Because, I named a bunch of things that the right wing does stand for and that Jimmy should have a fucking problem with. And that the fact that the left is so butthurt over the right wing really isn't a valid point to be discussing at all anyway. But 80 people, 80 of his fans went ahead and liked this, this cute little meme that I'm missing the point, right? But check this out. It only got 2 retweets. And one of them is mine. I retweeted Jimmy's attack on me. I retweeted it. And one other person retweeted it, right? Jimmy liked the other person's retweet, not mine. Jimmy liked the other person that retweeted, not mine. He's mad at me, right? And it's got 4 comments. One of them's from me. You want to know what I said? I said, God, why can't we see that? I said the point can be made without platforming sources of information that are regularly debunked. Why not look at the debunked data, right? So then when asking Jimmy to look at the debunked data from the people that he has on his show, I follow with a video. It says, debunking Dr. John Campbell's best ivermectin, whatever the fuck. And Jimmy comes back at me after that. I don't know if it's on here, somewhere else, and says to me, God, there's a big thing. I got to find it. I don't know why I can't find it. Replies. Oh, maybe it's here. Oh, he says, this is Jimmy says to me. He's fucking trolling me. He says, see my previous tweet in this. Take care and enjoy Fauci. So now Jimmy Dore and I are going back and forth, right? And I'm sitting there in the kitchen. I'm doing Sudoku, and I'm just waiting for him to respond to me every time. And I'm just shaking my head, and because I'm talking to my friend. And my friend, I don't want to say anything, but I'm just going to say that my friend supports me in all of this. And so I've got this support, and I'm doing this at the same time, and I'm playing Sudoku. And I'm thinking about Fauci and how much I fucking hate Fauci, and I know he's a fucking liar, and I learned about that from Jimmy Dore. So I say this to Jimmy, because I see where this is going. Look, he's got 22 likes on that, right? 22. So it's not 80 anymore. And I say, what's sad here, Jimmy, is I hate Fauci too, but you think people are one-dimensional. I said, care to see any of your experts getting debunked? Again, I say to Jimmy, care to see any of your experts getting debunked, right? Totally giving the context of the videos. I say, anyone who knows me, and I'm waiting for one of you to fucking come in there and fucking defend me. One of you would have been nice, Anyone who knows me, know how I feel about Fauci. Okay, I misspelled nose. You asked me how evil he is with facts. Go back to the facts, Jimmy Dore. And that's all I'm telling him. Right? And I'm showing him that all these guys, this one guy, especially that he has on his show, is debunked all over YouTube by doctors and scientists and legitimate sources of information. And this guy's an idiot. This guy that did Jimmy Dore, what's his name again? I forgot his name. Dr. John Campbell. So I put up another video. And I'm like, Care to see any of your experts getting debunked? Jimmy Dore responded to this. And he said, makes no sense at all. He says, this is Jimmy Dore, guys. Thanks for posting videos without making any specific points. Takes courage to not stick your chin out like that. Best of luck to you. I'm getting ratioed by Jimmy Dore, you know? And he says I don't have any balls. And I keep coming back for more. So, you know, somebody follows him. So then he's throwing this at me. Thanks for the follow. Like a child. You know, okay, you're getting another follow, Jimmy. How many do you have? I've got what? 4,000, 3,000 followers on Twitter. How many do you have, Jimmy, that you're showing me that you're getting a follow? I'm shocked at this point. And I'm sitting there doing Sudoku, and I got my hand up. I remember I'm sitting there with my hand like this on the table, right? And I'm looking at Sudoku, and I look up at Twitter, and I look at what Jimmy says, and I'm like, I'm reading it over and over and over again. And I'm like, Jimmy is literally throwing a Twitter follower in my face. Like, haha, this is what he does. Somebody agrees with me. Doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if it's somebody with 54 followers. You know, just joined last April. You know, he's like, haha. So then somebody said to me, maybe Jimmy's actually a Russian bot. And they pulled up an old tweet of mine from August 21st, 2020, where someone had a fake account, obviously, and I accused them. I said, does Russia pay well, comrade? And they accused me of thinking Jimmy must be a Russian bot and that I'm a Russiagator. Now I'm a Russiagator, guys. I've been watching Jimmy Dore like every day for the last 5 years, and I'm a Russiagator. I love it. I said, maybe he doesn't need weak defenders like you. Come strong next time, pal. So that guy says, you're not too good at this, are you? I said, about 31 times better than you, according to the numbers. I went and I checked how many followers he had, and then I divided it into the number of followers I had. It came to 31 times. That one's probably going to go over that dude's head. Megsy, what's up? Just checking in that I'm listening like it's bedtime storyline. But Nays, Campbell gets his stats from a legit source, and he's wrong. You do have balls. No, he doesn't get anything from legit sources, and I could prove it to you. See, he might have a legit source, but he doesn't give you the full story ever, and he doesn't ever tell you, you know, that some of those sources aren't even sources yet, bro. Like some of them are just abstracts. They're not even studies. That's the kind of shit that he throws at his audience, people like you, Turbo Jerko, just so you know. Oh, you want to see the debunk? Oh, you want to see him getting debunked? Oh, fine. I tell you what, bro. All you would have had to do was click on my response videos to Jimmy Dore. And this is what blows my mind, guys. This is it right here. Here we have a very interested, obviously intelligent person, Turbo Jerko. I could tell. You got it going on, buddy. That when he was watching a Twitter back and forth between two people and somebody said, hey, Jimmy, here's the receipts. Turbo Jerko didn't just want to click on the goddamn receipts. But now you want me to show you the videos that I posted to Jimmy Dore. My question to you is, why didn't you just click on them yourself, man? You know, and if anybody who disagrees with me on that whole Twitter war would just click on those videos, they might change their minds real quick about Dr. John Campbell. I just remember Campbell's soup. He's got soup for brains. I want it live. Turbo Jerko, I will go ahead and I will do it for you. This is just a look. This one is a little bit more. Okay. All you gotta do is go into YouTube, and you type in Dr. John Campbell debunked. And there's this one guy, this great doctor. He's got a frizzy afro, man. His name is Debunk the Funk with Dr. Wilson. I love this guy. You're gonna love him too. All right, check this guy out. He's just keeping it real. He's a doctor.
I'm Dr. Wilson. I'm a PhD molecular biologist, and welcome to another COVID-19 debunking video.
So he's a PhD microbiologist. You catch that? This guy's a PhD microbiologist. I think you're all going to love this guy. He's very nice. You know, I like nice people. He's nice, and he deserves to be heard. And I'll tell you how big his channel is. It's not big, okay? Am I being biased? Yeah, I love his hair. What can I say? He's not the only debunker, bro. This is the first one. I'm gonna show you so many videos debunking that mother. You're gonna be crawling by the end of this video. You're probably gonna leave. You know? The fro to expand the cranium. Okay. Anyway, look, he's only got 16,700 subscribers, but the video's got 65,000 views already.
Yeah. So this week, hi, I'm Dr. Wilson. I'm a PhD molecular biologist, and welcome to another COVID-19 debunking video. So this week, I'm taking a look at Dr. John Campbell.
Oops.
John Campbell has a PhD in nursing education, and on YouTube, he has been a very active voice in covering information related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I would say that early on his video...
And I just want to say this one more time. I love Jimmy Dore. Jimmy, I just want you to know, if you ever see this video, I love you. I do. It really hurts me that you and I are going through this right now. I know that you probably are going to block me on Twitter. I'm never going to get to talk to you again. I'm sad for that. And I want you to know that. But I can't just be silent like Kurt Metzger can be and listen to you say things to your audience that aren't true, and you're being lied to by your guests, and you're not pushing back. This gentleman right here does a really good job of pushing back against somebody that you hold in very high regard. And it's not fair to your audience to not have people like this on your show to push back against him. You should have this guy on, Jimmy.
Those were reasonable. He's a good educator. He's a good communicator, and that comes across in his videos.
Wait, whoa. You said what? His PhD isn't a regular medical doctor? Hey, man, it doesn't fucking matter what this guy's specific credentials are when you start listening to what he's going to tell you. All right? He's a fucking doctor. That's all you need to know. He's a fucking doctor. Campbell's not a medical doctor either. He's a nursing teacher. He teaches nursing. Oh, my bad. I got you. My bad, Turbo Jerko. I thought you were immediately attacking this guy's credentials. I'm saying, bro, once you hear this guy speak, you're going to fucking love him, man. He's smart. You're going to love this guy. Jimmy Dore would love him too.
The past few months, and especially recently, he's been making some egregious mistakes.
I love the way he says it.
Leaning into.
He's been making some egregious mistakes. I just love the way he words it. He's so nice. Oh my God. You know, I'm over here using every curse word available to me from my fire hose of a mouth. And this guy's just, eloquent.
That feed into his more conspiratorial viewers.
Cheers.
As a result, his videos have
no law regarding getting bitch slapped by Jimmy Dore on Twitter like the little bitch that I am. I'm the little bitch. I got ratioed. It doesn't feel that good.
The worst part is
cheers.
He is not correcting his mistakes. In fact, as I said earlier, he seems to be leaning into them because they're giving him more and more views. This has grown into a huge problem. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be going over some of the mistakes that he's made on his channel and has refused to correct. So I'm going to start off going over two topics that have been covered by others. And actually, I'll be referencing them most of the time. Then I'm going to pick two topics that I will be covering more in depth from his channel that he has gotten just completely wrong. So let's get started with the first topic, and where, in my opinion, he really started to go downhill in his accurate science communication on his YouTube channel, and that's the topic of ivermectin. John Campbell had several videos where he seemed...
Dude, Jimmy's going live right now. Thank you, sweet Lou. Love you, buddy. Holy shit. Jimmy Dore is going live. Why am I saying Jimmy Dore? Why isn't he just popping right up? Where the fuck is he? I'm still subscribed to your channel, Jimmy. He's not live. Okay. You made me stop my whole fucking show. All right. You made me stop my show. He's not live.
to be promoting this idea that ivermectin was
On YouTube?
effective in treating COVID. He would reference studies and incorrectly interpret them, all the while giving the...
Jimmy won't block me? Oh, Jimmy's going to block me, bro. Jimmy's going to block me on Twitter. Watch. He's going to fucking block me. As soon as what I said to him makes just the smallest bit of sense, he's going to block me. I'll be gone. He doesn't want to hear it. And I'm sad. It makes me cry, bro. I didn't want to think about it. He's totally going to fucking block me. He'll block me.
Impression that these data are looking really good for ivermectin.
You know?
But as I've covered several times on this channel, that is just... And other...
You know? He might know who I am.
Other science communicators who are well qualified to peer review.
That's the thing that's always hurt my feelings the most, man.
His mistakes with ivermectin.
Dude, all I ever wanted to do was just give him free triage oil. And he insisted that he pay for it, man. And it really hurt my fucking feelings. I was like, dude, I'm offended, man. I mean, thank you. It's so expensive, you know, $360 he gives me every time. And I'm like, thank you. That's amazing. The least I could do was join his fucking, you know, and that's, and I had the feeling, you know, I never know. He doesn't tell me. He doesn't talk to me, so I don't know. He just, Steph was paying for it, and she's like, no, he's paying for it. And in my mind, I always felt like he thought that I thought he was going to owe me something, like he was going to owe me a shout out, or he was going to owe me narrative, or he was going to owe me an interview spot or something if he didn't. And in reality, oh man, any of those things would have been fucking amazing, and I would have fucking loved any of them. Yes, absolutely, please. Yes. But at the same time, I wouldn't have expected any of them. You know, and forever to never, you know, I can't. Jimmy has done so much for me, entertainment-wise, education-wise. Man, I learned so much about stand-up through him. I met, you know, Graham Elwood from him. I met Ron Placone from him. I got way more involved with Lee Camp after realizing that Lee Camp and Jimmy Dore were working together. And there's so much more that Jimmy Dore has given me, you know, over the years. All I'm saying is, man, part of the reason why you won me over was because you were all about exposing everything on face value with no narrative. And something happened with COVID, bro. You got a narrative now. And this guy right here, he's like me, man. He doesn't have a fucking narrative. And it hurts to have to show you this, but
COVID. In particular, Dr. Greg Tucker Kellogg and Dr. Susan Oliver have great videos.
I've watched all of them. This guy's
where
very
they go into the
extensive.
science
She's
of what it
very
actually
easy to listen
says.
to.
I
She's
highly,
funny.
highly
She's cool.
recommend that you check them out.
It's only 12
Links
minutes.
to their videos
We'll
are
watch
linked
her
in the
next.
description below. Again, John Campbell seems to not have corrected his mistakes, and his videos continue to be shared among groups that support ivermectin as a treatment for COVID. This is causing more and more harm as COVID continues to spread among the unvaccinated. The second topic that has gotten quite a lot of attention on John Campbell's YouTube channel is one of aspiration while vaccinating for COVID-19. People seem to think that you need to aspirate in order to avoid more likelihood of adverse events with COVID vaccination. This was even mentioned briefly by Joe Rogan on his podcast. So this idea is prolific, and John Campbell absolutely emboldened these people when he made a video entitled "Need for Vaccine Aspiration Confirmed. Why is this not being done?" This is
okay. Now, it's normally when I would ask you guys if you remember when we discussed this on the show, and this is one of the things that I tweeted at Jimmy Dore that he ignored, and I showed him me doing my old man science, and you guys might remember this. I'm going to trigger your memories. Just doing that. I got a picture of an arm, a medical picture, and it showed where the blood vessels were inside the arm. You guys remember that? And I said the reason why they don't have to aspirate is because the needle goes nowhere near those blood vessels. It's not even a concern. You're injecting into muscle. And when that doctor was parroting mice, I said, well, those are mice, man. You know, he's parroting the study that was done on mice. And I'm like, of course they don't need to do so, right? You remember. Oh, Josh G remembers. Okay, you remember. There's a whole video of me talking about that. I sent tweets to Jimmy with the picture, everything. It all went ignored. You know, I never, ever heard back from anybody on, you know, I never got retweeted or looked at or anything. Nothing. Those things probably have one like on them.
Just wrong. You don't need to aspirate for COVID vaccination or any vaccination, really. The details of this are explained really well by Dr. Yan Yu in one of his videos on his YouTube channel. I highly recommend you check that out as well. The link to that will be in the description. But just to quickly show you how big of a mistake this is by John Campbell, the gist of this is really simple. The worry is that if you don't aspirate before vaccinating, then you'll inject it into a blood vessel. And injecting the vaccine contents into a blood vessel are supposed to cause more adverse events.
I could show you the tweet.
But this is why we inject into muscle. There are no major blood vessels in muscle, so the likelihood of injecting the vaccine contents into a major blood vessel are practically zero.
Very similar to the photograph that I sent to Jimmy Dore on Twitter months ago.
A nursing educator should know better. Again, this is all explained really well in Dr. Yan Yu's video. So that's what other scientists have pointed out as being huge problems with his communication on his channel. Now I'm going to go into the two topics that I picked up and thought were egregious mistakes on his channel. The first of which is this video where John Campbell shares this abstract on the American Heart Association's website that also made its round in conspiracy circles. And let's just see what he says about it, because
now, this comes from this paper here. In fact, when I say paper, I couldn't find the paper. It's just an abstract. So it is this abstract here. So this has got quite a lot of publicity, including some mainstream media in the UK, certainly. I'm not so sure about the US. But it's just based on this abstract. Now, the abstract is normally the introduction to the paper. But if the paper's there, I certainly can't find it.
There's a very good reason why he can't find the paper here. It's not a paper. This is obvious if you go to the top of the page and look at what it says about the abstract. You can see that at the top it says session title, DAMPS infection. When scientists are going to give presentations at conferences, they often submit abstracts to the conference so that the conference can make a program where people can read the abstracts and decide what to go see. And sure enough, if you look on the American Heart Association website, you can find that this was one of 7 abstracts submitted to this particular session at this particular conference, which was an online poster session. These abstracts normally are not peer-reviewed. Again, they're just a description of the work that the scientist at that particular session is going to be presenting. And yet, John Campbell spends over 20 minutes in his video talking about this abstract and how it shows all these worrying things. But there's no data attached to it. There's no paper. It's just an abstract. Nothing about it is peer-reviewed. Nothing about it is available for the scientific community to even analyze, including him. He's just kind of riffing and worrying about things that aren't there. Again, if there's no data attached to the abstract, there's nothing to analyze. As a scientist, you can't take that seriously until you see the data. Now, to be completely fair to John, he does say these things at the end of his video.
I don't know what else to say about that, really. Basically, we're awaiting more information, but we do need some sort of an official response, and we do need other research modalities, multiple research modalities, to adjudicate if the diagnosis reached by this study is correct or not. So the answer to the original question we asked at the start of the paper is did this group have an increase in 25% up to 25% risk of heart attack over 5 years, up from 11%? Well, this group seems to from this data. But before we can expand this out to the general population, we need an awful lot more. But it is a very important indicator of a very important place to look, because if we're missing a trick here, this has got huge implications.
So he correctly says that we need a lot more and we need to see the actual paper in order to verify and expand these results to the general public. But this is where he is very irresponsible. The correct thing to do would be to not report on this until you see the data, or at the very least point out that it's not a paper, it's just an abstract submitted to a conference. But he doesn't do any of that. He just covers it because he knows it's going to get views. I honestly think that's what is motivating him. Now, I also want to point out that I said these kinds of abstracts don't usually get peer reviewed, but in this case, it was. The American Heart Association actually asked the authors to correct or make changes to many sentences in this abstract because the claims were so strong and unscientific in the context of what they were actually presenting. You can read about these changes and see the edited abstract on the screen now, and I'll provide links to these in the description. So you might be wondering, did John Campbell follow up and cover these corrections or even correct himself in the first place? No, he didn't. And moving on to John Campbell's most recent and arguably
I love
most
that
egregious
part.
mistake
He's
on
like,
his YouTube channel,
no.
at least that I know of, we come to this idea that COVID-19 death certificates that only list COVID as the cause of death are the only true COVID deaths. This comes down to a deep and basic misunderstanding of how death certificates are filled out. John Campbell should know this. He should know better. And I've made several videos before on this channel debunking this same exact claim. But let's hear what he has to say about it, and then I'll respond.
I'm doing this as a single video because I'm still processing this information. It's really quite profound. Now, this is from a Freedom of Information request. Deaths from COVID-19 with no other underlying cause. In other words, people that were otherwise healthy, that don't have heart disease, that don't have lung disease, that don't have diabetes, and yet died of COVID-19.
This is so bad. I honestly don't know whether or not John Campbell is purposely misleading his audience for views at this point. I just don't know. What he doesn't seem to understand here is how death certificates are filled out. If there is no underlying cause, that doesn't mean the person is healthy. When it comes to filling out death certificates, take COVID-19 as an example. This is the norm of what you would see. You would see someone who maybe died of respiratory failure. This respiratory failure would be a cause of pneumonia, which would be a cause of COVID-19. These things listed in addition to COVID-19 on a death certificate are considered additional underlying causes or comorbidities. This kind of death certificate would not be included in the count that he is talking about, where COVID-19 is the only cause of death listed. It is absolutely ridiculous to say that only death certificates that have COVID-19 as the sole cause of death mean anything in this context.
So yeah, it's not as simple as this. I'm not saying that it's 17,000 only. I mean, we're talking about numbers here. We're actually talking about people's lives, of course, but I'm not saying it's only 17,371 people have died from COVID-19, but where that's the only cause on the death certificate, that's what the Freedom of Information requests are saying. So that is worth thinking about, reflecting on, and that's about as far as my thinking's got on that, really. But it is really quite profound.
This would be like saying a death certificate listing organ failure as a cause of death as a result of cancer is actually inflating the number of cancer deaths, and that we should all think about that. No, that is ridiculous.
And I've just discovered it yesterday. That's why I wanted to bring it to you now. There's been no mention of this whatsoever on mainstream media.
This
at
is
least on
pretty
the
funny.
BBC, sort of ITV, Channel 4 in the UK, and I haven't seen anything on the
Pretty
US channels.
quacky, huh, bro? There's
So-
more. There's a lot more.
Surprising
This is
that they
just the
haven't
beginning.
picked this up, because it's
just I like this. I really like this guy.
Maybe that's because it's not a big story, John, and you're just misunderstanding a very basic concept. Anyway, like I said, this is an old debunked claim. This was covered back in 2020 by US media outlets, and now he's just rehashing it. And although it's not being covered in mainstream media because it's not a big story, he has now sparked several anti-vaccine and COVID denying groups to report on this story.
See, this is
and
the
share this
problem,
video.
man. Do you remember the Kraken? Do you remember that woman? And she was going to release the Kraken, and all those cue balls said that it was all, there was all that shit going on. And because somebody, who's a lawyer, makes some claims, and all the loonies come out of the fucking woodwork and believe them. This is what's going on with this doctor. He makes some claims, and then all the fucking loonies, they've got someone that they can lift up and stand behind and say, this gives us credibility. That's what fucking Jimmy Dore is doing. And, we're getting started here. This guy's almost done.
This is completely
Cheers.
irresponsible from John here. Again, I honestly don't know if he's doing this on purpose for views or not. But John, if you somehow see this video, please correct your mistakes. Show me that you are an honest person who is genuinely interested in educating and communicating the best science and data as accurately as you can. Because right now you are definitely not doing that.
I'm going to pause it.
You are fueling conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers to keep doing what they're doing. It's in your comment section. It's people who are sharing your videos. It's all around you. I would personally be happy to talk with you. I've even sent you an email.
Boom. Look what he said. Hi, John. My name's Dan. I'm a molecular biologist, and I make YouTube videos in my spare time. I and several other scientists who make content on YouTube are concerned about the messages you've been sending through your videos lately. I've linked my channel and videos from some of my peers who have critiqued your messages. I'm hoping that your intentions are to genuinely educate your audience to the best of your ability, and that you will be receptive to criticism. So let's start a dialogue. I'm not asking for a public debate conversation. I'd just like to discuss your work. Hope to hear from you. He gives these scientists, and now you guys are going to see these scientists.
Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Yan Yu and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'd like to depart from what I normally do on my channel and respond to a video made by a Dr. John Campbell, who made a video called The Best Ivermectin Meta-Analysis. Now, Dr. John Campbell has a following of over 1.5 million people on YouTube. It's up to him to provide the most accurate information possible for his viewers. Unfortunately, he has not done so in his video on the best ivermectin meta-analysis. And here are...
Now, what he just said there was it's up to him to provide the most accurate information possible. No, it's not. And sadly, that sentiment is what's causing censorship on YouTube. Now, if this guy wants to call himself a doctor and give crazy information out on YouTube, hey man, I support it. And dumb motherfuckers are going to listen to him. So what? Fuck you. You're an idiot. You know why? Because you got people like him and the other guy and the woman we're going to listen to in a second that make a lot more sense. And you choose who you want to fucking listen to. Just because Jimmy Dore told you to listen to this guy, well, I think you're making a grave error. Okay? And that's what these debunkers were going to try to convince you of. So check this out.
I'd like to explain why. So as many of you know, ivermectin has been debated as a COVID-19 treatment for months now. The FDA and the WHO keep saying that there's not enough data behind the use of ivermectin to combat COVID-19 for humans. And many doctors, including my colleagues in toxicology, are reporting many more cases of ivermectin overdose. In this study here, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, they report the harmful effect of ivermectin on 21 people, 6 of whom required hospitalization and 4 of whom required ICU. Fortunately, none of them died. At the same time, and this is what perplexes me, I hear of papers that seem to justify...
This is 14 minutes, so I want to find this other video, and I'm going to just tell you one thing that he does say is that in the studies that doctor quotes that says ivermectin is working, the concentration in the petri dish is nowhere the human ingests it, and anything near that concentration would kill them. Those are the studies that this guy, now we could listen to this guy and he could tell you that, or we'd go into the woman. You want to hear him say it, or you want to take my word for it? You want to hear him say it? Because it's 14 minutes. I could speed it up. I could speed him up. We'd get right to it. Here.
By the use of ivermectin in humans against COVID-19. I have received a handful of questions from this from my own. I'm a researcher, but I like myself are all
okay. So here's a medical doctor right here. Here's an actual medical doctor.
Taught how to critically appraise medical research while in medical school. This is a course.
Oh, you guys want to go to the next? Look at y'all. You're like, move on. You're gonna take my word for it. That's funny. I'll take your word if you have a different point you want to make. Oh, you got to hear the woman, man. We can come back to this guy. You got to hear this woman. You're gonna like all these people, man. I these people that debunk people, there's an attractiveness to them all. There's something about people that just want to tell me the truth. I'm just really drawn to that. I want to hear them. I want to hear them tell the truth, not their truth, but the truth. And I think that one word makes a big difference with Jimmy Dore. Is it their truth or the truth? History. My brain stopped working there for a second. All right, check her out, man. Back to the science. This woman's fun. She's fun. You're going to have fun.
And 12.7 million people.
You're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. Let's just have fun with this. We're going to have fun. We're just going to have fun with this. Even if it doesn't want to play.
Oliver, and I'm a scientist, and back there is Julie Oliver, and she's a dog. Now, a number of you have drawn my attention to the fact that Dr. John Campbell has recently published a video entitled Freedom of Information Revelation and suggested it needs debunking. Well, Julie and I have had a look at the video, and we agree. It definitely needs debunking, starting with the title, because there was no revelation. Let's look at how John introduces the subject.
Freedom of Information request. And the Freedom of Information request was answered by the Office for National Statistics, and you can read the actual report there. Now, this actually came out last month, and I've just discovered it yesterday. That's why I wanted to
has it on.
There's been no mention of this whatsoever on mainstream media, at least on the BBC.
Jimmy wants to tell the truth. I know, but that's like Hillary Clinton saying, "I want to tell the truth." You can't not tell both sides of the story. You can't not tell all sides of the story. You can't just hide things or not discuss things, or you can't just put someone on your show and call them an expert. Bro, that's not wanting to tell the truth, man. That's not wanting to tell the truth. Wanting to tell the truth is not ever having this guy on because you researched him yourself and you found out he was a quack. Now you're standing behind this product called ivermectin, and the science that this guy's giving you is fake science. It's just, this guy's really manipulating Jimmy Dore.
TV, Channel 4 in the UK, and I haven't seen anything on the US channels that I follow. So surprising that they haven't picked this up, because it's a huge story for media to cover, and they haven't.
Now, John appears to be attempting to appeal to those who like to think that mainstream media is hiding the truth from us. And if you've ever read the comment section of his videos, that is a lot of his viewers. So John is asking, why haven't the mainstream media covered this newly revealed information? Well, the answer is simple. It isn't newly revealed information. If you read the answer to the Freedom of Information request, it specifically points out the report where this information is published on a quarterly basis. And it isn't just in a report. It is also published prominently on the ONS website in a pretty graph, which you can see here. What this graph is saying is that 16.8% of people who died from COVID had no pre-existing conditions, but the rest did. However, they didn't die of their pre-existing conditions, they died of COVID. And unless you've been living under a rock, you have been hearing this information since the start of the pandemic. We know that having a comorbidity makes you more likely to die from COVID. The medical authorities have been reporting this information since the beginning of the pandemic. And John has also been reporting this. This is a video that John recorded in May last year, where he spends a full half hour explaining the various comorbidities that can make you more susceptible to severe COVID. And in July 2020, he did a deep dive into COVID.
Did you guys see that? He's got 2.12 million subscribers on YouTube. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh my God.
And obesity, pointing out that people with a higher than average BMI were more likely to develop critical COVID and die. So this is not new information, even to John.
Therefore, 2020 and the first 3 quarters of 2021, total deaths from COVID alone, 17,371.
Okay, this is just wrong. The number of people who have died of COVID in the UK is 175,256. This is the number of people who have died of COVID based on their death certificates. John is confusing information on death certificates about pre-existing conditions with cause of death. So this is a template of a death certificate, and the same information is used around the world. It has 2 parts. In part 1, the physician filling it out lists the chain of events or diseases, injuries or complications that directly cause a death. In box A, they report the immediate cause of death, and then this is followed by causes in a logical sequence in terms of time. As an example, if someone had COVID, which led to pneumonia, which then led to acute respiratory distress syndrome and death, the physician would write acute respiratory distress syndrome in box A, pneumonia in box B, and COVID in box C. If the patient also happened to have diabetes, this information would be included in part 2 as a condition that may have contributed to the death, but wasn't an underlying cause. In other words, if they hadn't got COVID, they wouldn't have died of the condition in part 2. They would still be alive. It is also worth mentioning, if someone dies of another cause like trauma, for instance, but happens to also have COVID, then COVID would only be mentioned in part 2, and this would not be counted as a death from COVID, but only as a death with COVID. And the ONS separates these figures out. So if we go back to the publicly available graph showing the pre-existing conditions that people have had who died from COVID, we see the top condition is diabetes. More than 4.9 people in the UK had diabetes. The next pre-existing condition is chronic lower respiratory diseases. This covers a number of different diseases, but one of them is asthma. 5.4 million people in the UK are currently receiving treatment for asthma. And 12.7 million people suffer from some type of lung disease. Next is hypertension, which affects about 1 in 3 people in the UK. Now, obviously, there is going to be some overlap in these numbers. Some people are going to suffer from more than one of these pre-existing conditions. But it is clear that a large proportion of the UK population suffer from at least one of these conditions. And what's also clear is that most of them can expect to live for several decades with these conditions because they are treatable with medication. I personally have a number of friends who have one or more of these conditions, and we are planning on growing old disgracefully together. Now, this doesn't mean these are benign conditions. They can definitely lead eventually to other complications, but it is wrong to suggest that people who happen to have these conditions are dying from the conditions and not from COVID. But don't just take my word for it that these are chronic treatable conditions. Listen to what John said in his previous video.
Now, the thing about those conditions, about high blood pressure and diabetes mellitus, they are both eminently controllable diseases. So if you take lifestyle, if you adjust lifestyle and take medications to bring blood pressure down, then that's going to slow the progression of renal compromise, of renal damage. And likewise, if you can keep the blood sugar levels down in diabetes mellitus, whether it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes, that will also slow down the chronic kidney disease.
So there you have it. John previously said diabetes can be controlled with medication, and of course, he was right.
Average life expectancy.
Hey, I'm going to take medical advice from him. I'm going to try to keep my blood pressure down to keep myself healthier. I didn't know that. Yeah, I was doing damage to myself by letting my blood pressure be higher.
in the UK. So this is
Thanks, Doc.
2018 to 2020. And of course, 2020 obviously includes the first year
Just
of the pandemic.
goes to show you.
And the average there was 79 for men and 82.9 for women. And so, as we see, the average age of death from COVID-19 was actually greater than the average life expectancy in the UK. This is it's really quite profound data, this really. 17,371 deaths where COVID was the only attributable cause. Now, these figures here, this represents a fall of 7 weeks for men and an increase of half a week for females when we average out over the whole country. So it looks like this reduction of 7 weeks for men, we can say there was a temporal correlation between that in 2020 and the start of the pandemic. We would think it's very likely it's a causal correlation, but from that data we can only say there is a correlation. So they're the changes, and that's in comparison to 2015 to 2017, which is the last full data set. Now, this is the first time we've seen a decline when compared to non-overlapping time periods since the series began in early 1980. So it looks like the average age of death in men, as a result of that year of the pandemic, has gone down by 7 weeks. And the average age of death for women has gone up by 3 or 4 days.
Now, John appears to be selectively presenting information here to support his claims. He claims that life expectancy has only gone down a tiny bit as a result of the pandemic, but he's basing this on an average life expectancy averaged across 2018 to 2020. Now, of course, only one of those years had COVID deaths in it, so it is not a valid claim. As it happens, his information source actually provides information on the life expectancy for 2020 compared with 2019. There was a 63-week decline in life expectancy for males and a 45-week decline in life expectancy for females. Why didn't John present this information? John also points out that the average age of death of someone with COVID is higher than the average life expectancy of someone at birth. But he neglects to mention that it is lower than the most common age of death, which is 86.7 years for men and 89.3 years for women. Again, John is cherry-picking information to support his new agenda of minimising COVID. And incidentally, the average age of death from COVID that John quotes here is incorrect. It is actually only 79.4 years, not 82.5 as quoted by John. I think he got that information from a YouTube video and didn't bother to check it. Speaking of which...
One piece of information here. This is the excess deaths from cancer. Now, this is from Professor Carol Sequoia, who is, he's one of the leading oncologists in the world, cancer doctors. Former head of cancer program at the World Health Organization. And I just got a brief resume of him. It seems he left the WHO because he didn't agree with some WHO policies. I can't remember the details, but they were changing apparently to focusing a lot on communicable disease, whereas deaths throughout the world from cancer are everywhere. You see people dying of cancer every country you go to. You see people dying of cancer, of course. He estimates, now he didn't give his working on this, so I would like to see a paper by Professor Sequoia on this.
What?
He's gone public on this.
What did he just
probably
say,
an extra
man?
50,000 deaths from cancer over the past 18 months you otherwise would not have had.
Yes, I'd like to see their workings too. They don't seem to make a lot of sense considering deaths from cancer in England and Wales were pretty much the same in 2019 and 2020, as you can see in this table. Now, this doesn't mean we won't see an increase in the future in cancer deaths owing to delayed diagnoses. We know that the NHS was under extreme pressure as a result of COVID. But an extra 50,000 cancer deaths seems a bit of a stretch based on the current data. Now, I hadn't heard of Professor Sequoia before John mentioned him, so I thought I would have a quick look to see what I could find. And I found this article, which was published in Medscape last year, and I'll just read the first paragraph to you. Manchester. Cancer expert Professor Carol Sequoia has blamed confusion and his poor memory for providing misleading information to the medical tribunal involving leading oncologist Professor Justin Stebbing. So maybe John should have done a little more fact-checking before repeating Professor Sequoia's claims.
Now, just noticed it's actually quite spring-like out there today. It's not, it's actually quite cold. It's the 20th of January in the north of England. We'll have a look out the window, see if we can experience one of life's one of life's great experiences, really, the sound of birdsong. Let's just have a look, see what we can see. Just swing this camera around if that's going to work. There we go. Camera 2. There we go. I'll put the microphone out, see if there's any birds singing. Often you get dogs barking and everything.
I wonder why she's showing this. Here, we'll go to the next one. Check this out.
There you go. Well, I heard a little bit there. I hope you heard something as well. Isn't
Here, watch this. Dude, this one is so fucking involved. This guy just goes. This guy's just full on about misinformation.
Just basically the point on
This
the
is just
concentration
random.
curve where it reaches roughly basically 50% of
It's an hour,
activity.
20-minute video. I'm just
And
randomly
this is
somewhere in the
reported
video.
Micromolar. It's also reported in as a log base 10. And then there are these other things, efficacy, so closer to minus 100, the better.
Yeah.
And then max response is the largest response. So these various things, as you saw on the previous data, on this kind of data, these curves don't always give us a good fit. So that's a general truism for this type of screening data. So some of these are going to be blank, and that means that they didn't give a very good fit. And so it would be meaningless to talk about, say, an AC50 for this assay for this molecule. I checked because this case, the sample IDs are not always, don't always convert to a common name. So not all of the common names of the top ones show up from the paper in the same way here, but those that do show basically the same results. So I've confirmed that the results hold up. This really is basically the same data as from the paper. So what we can do is we can say, okay, ask, now if we see here the, where am I looking? Oh, in there. I'm looking, the real thing is the AC50. What is the micromolar concentration where you get 50% of the maximum fit? And so we see that, and I can sort this. Let's sort this from smallest to largest.
Dude,
And
I'm
one thing
telling
notice down
you.
here is that it stops at 453. So we don't get any after
Let's go back to
453.
the beginning.
Leave comments and let me know your questions and your input on this. Okay, so let me start by just addressing the question, why this video? Why do this video at all? Well, Dr. John Campbell has had a huge influence. He's been making videos for a long time, and he's developed an increasing following during the COVID-19 pandemic through his YouTube channel. He has something like 1.3 or more million followers. He puts out videos every couple of days, so it really draws a lot of
And
followers.
this guy's got
In
2,000.
that, he is
2,810.
his clinical background and scientific training is really valuable. So he has extensive clinical experience and extensive clinical training. So he has been a professional nurse and also teaching. So he's been a teacher of nursing for many years, for decades. And he also has a PhD. He got a PhD in international nursing education, teaching bioscience, and he's very passionate about teaching. And I'll add this, that actually he's really good at it. He's really good at making these YouTube videos. He tends to be informative. He tends to be dispassionate. And he has a certain style where he uses the overhead cam and a fountain pen and sort of walks through papers with the document camera. And I find that I could learn a lot from his style in doing videos in working in my teaching. So I teach university students, undergraduate and graduate students, and of course I've been doing this remotely. I'm interested in remote teaching, so I'm interested in how he does it.
As a podcaster, shout out.
He's been very good. His area, though, is really at the clinical area. And what I've noticed, in particular on this video, the video that I'm responding to, is that he tends to get a lot of things wrong. He misunderstands some things when he gets to the cellular and molecular level. And as those misunderstandings turn into mistakes, those mistakes turn into misinformation, and misinformation is dangerous in a global pandemic. And so that was what prompted my decision to respond to that video with my own video.
All right.
Now, a day after he posted that video on the Pfizer's new medication and ivermectin, he posted another video because people who had shared his video on, say, Facebook, they had that video flagged as misleading or false information. And he posted a video where he really took down the fact checkers. And part of that was just missing their qualifications because they were journalists, they weren't scientists, they had no in the way you described it, they didn't really have the relevant scientific training. So while I'm against arguing from authority, I do think it is worth just putting out my credentials for this so that at least where I'm coming from is clear and where I'm not coming from is clear. So who am I? Why should I have the right to criticize Dr. Campbell as such an enormous following and is so good at what he does? My background is not clinical. I've never treated patients. I've been a patient, but I've never treated patients after the Boy Scouts first aid class, I guess. But I do have a PhD. So I did my PhD in molecular biophysics and biochemistry. I got my PhD from Yale University in the early 1990s. I did my postdoctoral fellowship in the Department of Biological Chemistry and Molecular Pharmacology at Harvard Medical School. After that training, I went into biotech. So I had a career, basically the first half of my career, or more, slightly more than that, after my postdoc, was in biotechnology and drug discovery research. And that eventually brought me to Singapore. Then I moved back into academia. So I'm currently a professor in the Department of Biological Sciences at the National University of Singapore. And I want to be clear that this video represents me. I'm representing myself as an individual. I'm not representing my employer. The other thing in terms of criticism, because I noticed when I put out a short video about whether I should do this video, I got a lot of people questioning whether I was being paid off to be critical of Dr. Campbell. And the answer is no. I have no conflicts of interest. Not only I don't hold any financial interests in any company with vaccines or developing vaccines or with treatments or developing treatments for COVID-19. I don't do any consulting for any of those companies. And furthermore, my YouTube channel is not monetized. So this video doesn't make any money. I don't make any money from YouTube. And if in the future this channel is monetized, I promise today that this video will be forever excluded from that monetization. So now an outline of this talk. So this video. So
you deleted one of your
follow along the lines of Dr. Kemp.
Oh, thanks, Turbo Jerko. You deleted one of your tweets at me. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Dami, man, yeah, keep smoking the cannabis, man. Your other doctor's correct.
This video. This is the video that I'm referring to, where he described the new Pfizer drug and ivermectin, and he says this is a new Pfizer antiviral and ivermectin.
Hey, hippie chick.
A pharmacodynamic analysis. I want to start just clarifying Dr. Campbell's
Nick.
claim that he makes in this video. In his video, and
hey,
I will
James.
introduce the drugs. So there are 3 drugs of interest. There's Pfizer's new molecule, there's ivermectin itself, and then there's another drug that is part of a co-administration with Pfizer's new molecule in the formulation that Pfizer has in the trials. I'll discuss the target, the 3CL main protease from the SARS-CoV-2 virus, how that target works, and how these drugs, or at least how the Pfizer drug interacts with it. And then I'll walk through the claims that Dr. Campbell makes along the way. And while it's not universally mistaken, but there are some mistakes and misinterpretations and misunderstandings. And I'll touch on some of those and then bring that together in why the central claim that Campbell makes in his video doesn't hold up. So this is the central claim. The central claim for Dr. Campbell in that video is that Pfizer's new antiviral protease inhibitor, PF07321332, uses the same clinical mechanism of action, or he calls it mode of action, as ivermectin in treating COVID-19.
Wow. Dude, and you guys can watch all of these videos. I love debunking videos, man. I'm not gonna subject you. This guy's get into it, man. And I know you guys don't want to watch that. I don't even want to watch that shit right now. But imagine the amount he goes on for another hour and 10 minutes, just getting all sciencey and shit, man. That guy just gets all in details, totally just, he's like, yeah, he doesn't understand this, he doesn't understand that. And that's all I'm saying, man, is check that shit out, man. The guy makes a lot of assumptions, and one of my favorite debunkings is this guy I listened to, he's talking about the study and saying that that it was made, there was this one thing, it was just made as a kind of like a fictitious thing. He's using it as like fact. It's like it was like a what if type scenario. And then he did a whole fucking show on it. I kind of felt bad for him. And there's a lot more of these debunking videos. It's amazing how many people did that. You know, but I guess these doctors and these scientists felt it necessary to try to correct the record because he's unreal, pal. Nobody's not got the full cup of coffee anymore, palsy walsy. How many cups of coffee have you had today already? You've had enough. You've had enough there, palsy. What have you done? You don't do it like that. Nobody's doing it. Not gonna do it. Not doing that, palsy. No way, no how. No. Nope. Can you guys see out there the beautiful waterfall? I got a boil out there. It's beautiful. It's fucking coming up out of the water like a foot, man. Splash and makes all this noise. What do you guys think of this goddams? There, you tweeted in my court. Did you, Turbo Jerko? I want to see it. Thank you, man. Let me see what you did. What'd you do? What did you do, yo? What did you do? I still agree with them all on this stuff. Thanks, Nick. I miss goat milk for the love of God. Can someone think of the goats? What? What is that about? Why is that tweeted at me, Lee Camp, and Ron Placone? Dude, you should see his masks work evidence. Dude is a joke. Check out his show and see how out of touch dude is. His masks work evidence? Yeah, that's that cushy guy, dude. Yeah, masks work, bro. There's evidence. Does it not block a sneeze? I'm looking for your tweet, Turbo Jerko. Turbo Jerko, I'm looking for your tweet, bro. I don't see it, bro. I don't know where to look, bro. I don't see a tweet, bro. I don't see a tweet. Oh, show 108 tweets. Maybe I should do that. What do you see in this beautiful war criminal? War criminal. War criminal. That's what I see. War criminal. War criminal. Barack Obama and his wife. War criminal. Hey, I just want to get home as legally possible. Dude, where are you? Of course, why would doctors wear them? It's under the Jimmy tweet. I can't find it. I can't find anything anymore. Nothing makes sense to me. I'm scrolling like massively. I don't see it. I'm so confused. I want to see your tweet. Oh, here it is. She gets it. She gets it. You are Turbo Jerko on here, bro. You Turbo Jerko on here, bro. You Turbo Jerko on here, bro. Dude, there's 640 likes. Oh, that's not it. Good. I still can't find it because I'm having a problem with my ping right now. – 14 comments. One like. 81 likes. So ratioed. I'm so ratioed, bro. I'm ratioed by Jimmy Dore, the master, son. Dude, I wonder if he's going to talk about him ratioing me on his show. Don't do it, bro. Don't mention that. Hey, look at this clown. Look at this clown. We dug up all this garbage on him. He calls women cunts. Look at him. He was rude. He was rude. Look at him. He's rude, this guy. God, he's not live, luckily. He's not live. Just forget about me, Jimmy. Yeah, says, why can't I find you, bro? I don't know what I'm looking for, bruh. I don't know what I'm looking for, bro. I can't find it, bruh. Oh, Turbo Jerko! Turbo Jerko! Turbo Jerko! Turbo Jerko! Following you back, bruh. Turbo Jerko! I see you. I'm gonna click on you, bruh. There you are, Turbo Jerko. Turbo Jerko. Turbo Jerko. Oh, the birds. What in the world? What in the world? It's a bunch of fucking birds landed on an electrical cable and got electrocuted. That's what in the world. It's called electricity, son. I thought I already explained it, but I don't feel like explaining it again. Turbo Jerko! Turbo Jerko! I gotta go to your fucking tweets and replies, bro. She gets the game. Jimmy, I don't agree with all of Nate's points, but he did go through a bunch of evidence debunking Dr. Campbell. It was concerning. Check it out. That's very nice of you, Billy, a.k.a. Turbo Jerko. You're the first. Thank you for being the first person I have seen come to my defense here. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. I stuck my chin. I stuck my chin way the fuck out, Jimmy. Trust me, man. Just not feeling too good right now. Turbo Jerko. Turbo Jerko. Turbo Jerko. I guess Jimmy's not going live, huh? I got suckered on that. Somebody suckered me on that. Psst. Nobody's even suckering you on that anymore again, pal. What are you even trying to not do? Psst. Double negatives, triple negatives, not even not trying to not do them. What are you even not doing, pal? Nobody's even not doing $42,572.34, 56-cent Bitcoin, my friend. Nobody's even doing it. You actually did JE. Can't see that. Jimmy doesn't see it from a guy who's not famous's side. No, bro, he would. You know, he would. To Jackson Hinkle, you know, he listens to people that are new. He's just got mad, bro, because he took it as an attack against him. Bro, I sent him, don't even know. Do you guys want to know what I sent him before that? Do you want to know what this is really about? I think I could be wrong, but I had just sent him another tweet. You guys ready? Here it is. I'm going to find it. Turbo Jerko, a.k.a. Turbo. Dore Discord follows me. Dore Discord followed me. I just want to say that. Thank you, Dore Discord. I followed you back, I think. This is what I'm doing. I forgot what I was doing. Isn't that funny? I was going to look something up on Twitter. I forgot what I was looking up. Someone. I'm going to look someone up on Twitter. It's doing something. I watched Ronnie Placone today. It was great. He had Epstein on there. It really does only last 15 minutes, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it was a tweet I put up to somebody. Right. We'll find it. I tweeted at somebody. Oh, this guy, Jack Spleenstock. He's got 3 followers. Yeah, I'm one of them. You're welcome. Thanks for the follow, Jimmy Dore. Reef Breland was kind of taking Jimmy's side there. You know, maybe Reef wants to talk to me about it. I got a lot of respect for him. Jimmy called him Jim Jam. I call him Jim Jam. Reef, how dare you? How dare you, Reef? Why do you keep deleting your tweets? He says, Jimmy Dore says, see my previous tweet in this. Take care and enjoy Fauci. He says to me, Jimmy Dore says that to me. This is what I put up. So I put this up 4 hours ago. And the thing that happened between me and Jimmy Dore happened 4 hours ago. Right? Here, watch. I don't know if it's related or not. But I put this up first. It's pretty crazy. You guys ready? It says, I tweeted 4 hours ago, Jimmy, I was watching a video, right? And after watching the video, I stopped the video halfway through and I just was like, man, I got to unsubscribe from Jimmy's channel. So I was like, Jimmy, I can no longer pay to watch you ignore facts and platform anti-science non-doctors and complete morons like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who claim 5G is here to spy on us. Best of luck to you. And that's what he started saying to me. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you. He kept saying that to me on Twitter today. So I said, best of luck to you and Steph. And I hope you enjoy the triage oil. By the way, masks work. Right? 1 out of 3. See, there's I don't know if you saw this or not. There's 1 like, 1 retweet, and 1 comment. I said, masks work. And I showed this. This is me unsubscribing from JimmyDoreComedy.com and leaving this message there when I unsubscribed from him. And I said, ivermectin hasn't cured anyone from COVID. And by promoting it as a cure, you cost people their lives. but by the smug look on your face, I could tell you couldn't give a rat's ass. Too bad you choose the weakest hill to stand on, and almost every show is based on the exact same topic. It would occur to you that people like Rogan, who had mild symptoms, could have any number of reasons for it if you weren't so blinded by your own narrative. I simply can't watch you anymore because even when it's funny, it's sad to see you manipulate so many people. And then I sent this. This was the video I watched. This video was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Too much misinformation, smugness, and no regard for actual science. Bye, Jimmy Dore. I think he saw this. I think it's possible he saw this. But, we may never know. That may have been that's the tweet. Of course he saw it. But instead of attacking me on that thread, you think about that. Then I attack him on his other, I don't really attack him. I just say, dude, can you say what right wingers do too while you're over there, having a guest spot on Tucker Carlson? That's why you don't multiple tweet at someone. They go after weaker threads. That's the trick. Oh, Turbo Jerko. You've been doing this a while. Right. So people don't see what this was really about. But I do a show, I do a podcast. So luckily I'm here and I'm able to tell. I don't know how many people are watching right now. You guys having fun? Let me know in the chat if you're here watching, having fun. Nick's here. Jerko's here. Enoch. What's up, Enoch? Did I go toe-to-toe with Jimmy? Oh, Enoch's just getting it. Oh, fuck, bro. Oh, my God. Dude, Jimmy Dore ratioed me on Twitter today. I asked for, I got to make coffee so I can talk to Enoch. I asked for it, bro. I don't know if any of you remember the other day when we were talking about Jackson Hinkle getting ratioed by his father. And I said, fuck, I wish anyone would fucking ratio me. I probably even said Jimmy Dore's name. I was like, shit, it would be more than just being ignored. Like I'm just ignored. I just feel ignored all the time, It'd be better. At least I get some fucking attention. But I wasn't trolling him to get attention, man. I was just letting him know how I felt about shit. But I'm going to play that video for you with Kurt Metzger. Kurt Metzger reminds me of the Guy Smedley character. You guys know Guy Smedley. And he just went in the background. It was his laugh. just gotta go through them one more time. Anything I missed? I should put the full. I should give him the full cost of my solar and make sure we've properly been running the tax on that, the solar system, because the state gives you taxes, like a tax benefit on it. I got great coffee. Shouts out to Jimmy Dore. I'm on my third account. I've been banned. I knew it. I saw my tracks. Get mad. Has good stand-up. He's written for tons of people. I think he's worked on Chappelle's show. Dude, Kurt's fucking awesome. I love Kurt. Happy Valentine's Day. Good looking. Hey, Billy, Jimmy Dore ratioed me on Twitter today, bro. I was just going to tell Enoch what happened. I was going to refresh the chat. I'm so glad I caught your chat before I refreshed it. It's not giving me a good number. I was watching this video, okay? And no one has seen this yet, Billy. No one saw the video. Oops, something went wrong with the chat. Look at that. Are we still live? Are we still live? Live? Are we still live? Are we still live? Let's see here. Yes. Yes, we are. Okay. Okay. Now I'm getting a number. Yeah, fuck Jimmy. So don't fuck Jimmy. Wait. Anyway, I was watching this video. And I got a little angry. This was 4 hours ago, right? So I was watching this video.
We've talked about ivermectin on this show and how the establishment media has lied about it. The establishment media, which is owned, which is captured and funded by Big Pharma. Why would they lie about ivermectin? What do you mean they lied about it? Well, they said it was horse poison, right? So if you took that, you're poisoning yourself. And they made you think that it wasn't a drug for human beings, when in fact it was a drug for human beings, so much so that 3 billion prescriptions.
So when I was listening to this, I was like, oh, they didn't say poison, Jimmy. They said paste. This is what was going on in my head. I'm just telling you.
Have been written for human beings around the world. And it saved millions of lives. And it won the 2015 Nobel Prize for Human Medicine. And it was
right. And not applicable to COVID whatsoever. Right. Okay. Let's keep going.
Considered a miracle drug before COVID.
Yeah, for not having anything to do with COVID. No. Okay, but let's keep going.
And so once I found out that they were lying about ivermectin, I found out they were lying about most everything.
Okay.
That's interesting, isn't it? Yes. So why would they lie about ivermectin? And because ivermectin is very inexpensive. It's basically free because anybody can make it because it's off patent now and you can make a generic. And so the big pharma doesn't want you to think ivermectin can treat anything. And so now they're trying to figure out if it treats.
Well, it treats river blindness, Nile River blindness or something like that.
They were treating people and they were advocating. And the problem is you needed studies. You needed a study on it. The CDC recommended studies. People study ivermectin and how it treats COVID. The CDC recommended that. And the problem is, and I was in a study, by the way, I was in a long haul study, which used all kinds of that drug and all kinds of other drugs. So people are studying it. But the problem is you have to have a big enough study. And the problem with studying ivermectin is
and malaria.
Only the people with the resources to do a big enough
non-viral parasites.
People like the government or big pharma, and they weren't really interested in doing one, and that was a big problem. Why wouldn't they be interested in doing the study? So now there's a story out of England. They were studying it. They're doing a study. This is how they're studying ivermectin. It started in like March of 2020, and it's going to go till like.
And then he immediately brings this guy up. So I'm like, oh man, not this guy again, Jimmy, man. Ugh.
The fall of 2022. Well, isn't that when it's going to be endemic? Isn't it almost already endemic? What the F? Why is that study taking so long? They could get the vaccines to you in 90 days or whatever it was. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't a long time.
Here's the nurse doctor, the nurse
figure out
teacher that
if
never
a
learned how to
double
read
drug
fucking
for 2 fucking years.
never learned how to actually
Isn't that
read
interesting? What's that?
Isn't it legally to do
studies.
emergency authorization? You can't. There can't be anything else that could possibly work.
So that was well, one of the so the vaccines to be given to in order for the vaccines to be given emergency use authorization, there could not be another drug that treated it. So that's just a fact I have to give you, and I can't attach anything else to it, or YouTube will take my channel down. And again, I'm not saying ivermectin treats COVID-19 because we haven't seen the studies yet. But here's the problem with the studies. Like I just told you, the only people big enough to do it, and watch what's happening. This is from our good friend Dr. John Campbell.
Ivermectin trial, principal trial from a certain university in England called Oxford University. Now let's just look at where this came from and try and work out what's going on. So this was the medication December. Ivermectin arm of the principal study put on hold. Trial website cites supply issues. Now let's just see how probable that would be.
So they're saying we can't get ivermectin to do this trial. We can't get enough of the drug. It's the supply issues. And he says, well, let's see if that's actually true. How could that possibly be? That's what he's asking. And here we go.
Now this is Professor Chris Butler, who's the head of the principal trial, based in Oxford. From the University of Oxford's Nuffield Department of Primary Care Health Science, Joint Chief Investigator. Now this is from the site, available globally. So how could there possibly be any?
Happy 420, everybody.
It's available globally.
So this is Indian ivermectin. I keep this purely for educational, illustrative purposes, of course. But it's there, it's readily available. It costs literally pennies, a few cents, it's literally. I think I worked it out with the World Health Organization are paying about 4 cents a tablet. It's essentially free, and can be produced in huge scales. As I say, this prop here that I keep, I suppose it would be useful if I did get strong IDs or onchocerciasis, which is what it's prescribed for at the moment, agreed by the World Health Organization. But it's readily available now. It's the point I'm making. And actually, Chris Butler, of course, says this. Ivermectin is readily available globally, so there is not a supply issue with it. Has been in wide use, again, Chris Butler speaking on the website. This is directly from the website. It's been in wide use for many other infectious conditions. It's a well-known medicine with a good safety profile. Remarkably good safety profile, actually.
A remarkably good safety profile, ivermectin, has a remarkably good safety profile. Remarkably good. So if you listen to Brian Stelter or Rachel Maddow or anybody else in the establishment media, they will make you think that it's poison and that people are clogging up hospital ICUs because they're taking it, as opposed to what that actually says. It's remarkably safe medicine. Kurt?
I was reading something about it, and they said the worst case, somebody went blind. Because his blindness was one of the accusations I've seen about it.
It actually cures river blindness, which is a condition. It actually cures that. Right, here we go.
A good safety profile. Obviously, we never prescribe on this channel, only take drugs prescribed by our own healthcare provider. And because of the early promising results in some studies, it's already being widely used to treat COVID-19 in several countries. So that was sort of Chris Butler's back.
So it's got a good safety profile. It's already being used in several countries to treat that. So
round a statement there. Now, if we go back to this here, so this was the concern. And now it says here, ivermectin trial in the UK principal trial is currently paused due to temporary supply issues according to the trial website. Now, I'm somewhat mystified by this, unless it's changed or something, because you click on the website there, and that's just the direct we've done. And we find no talk of it here on the site. This is the principal trial website, help finding treatments for COVID-19 from home, which of course is exactly what we want to do, avoid hospitalisations if at all possible. Very laudable principle. Principle of a UK-wide clinical study from the University of Oxford to find COVID-19 treatments for recovery at home. And it's 9,000 participants have been recruited so far. This video here just gives you some, I'm not going to play it, just gives you some useful background information on the trial itself, who can join. Eligibility criteria, and then drugs that are being looked at here. So we've got favipiravir, antiviral drug, and we've got ivermectin, which are currently being studied. Now, have we missed something here from the news? So let's go on to the news from the principal trial. And here we have the feature of a great success of this trial. Here they discovered that asthma drug budesonide is useful. Inhaled budesonide, a common corticosteroid, is the first widely available, inexpensive drug found to shorten recovery times in COVID-19 patients aged over 50 who are treated at home and in other community settings. Reports of the principal trial in 1,779 participants. The drug is now available to treat COVID-19 on a case-by-case basis in the United Kingdom primary care. So that was good. But then we look on and we see, well, is there any news about ivermectin? So, well, here's their bit on ivermectin, but this bit actually hasn't been updated since the 23rd of June. So again, we can click on that, and we see that ivermectin to be investigated for adults 18 plus as a possible treatment for COVID-19 in the principal trial, and no change. So it seems to be still ongoing. That ivermectin is being investigated by the Oxford principal trial. And again, we see nothing here of supply issues, no issue at all. Now, at the start of this talk, I said it's still in the trial, and the reason I know that is Chris Butler was kind enough to tell me that yesterday. I'm not going to say more in the email. I can't get permission to release it, but he did tell me ivermectin is still in the trial. So where does this come from? I really don't know. Also, if we look at the registry of clinical trials here, we will see principal clinical trial evaluation treatments for suspected and confirmed COVID-19 for recovery at home, and that's all the information there about the trial where it is registered. So interesting where this story's come from and what it means. Right, so, and they say here, well, this is a direct quote from their site, overall trial status ongoing, recruitment status recruiting. It's just completely unambiguous. When is the study starting and how long is it expected to run for? Well, again, this is on the official registry of the clinical trial, March 2020 to September 2022. Now, disappointing that it was also going to take so long to come. And currently we're investigating these two drugs, favipiravir and ivermectin.
You see how long that study is? That's from March 2020 to September 2022. It's kind of disappointing it's going to take so long, but here we go. And here's the drugs they're studying.
The two drugs currently being investigated by this trial at the moment. So here's the ivermectin, recognised approved drug by the British National Formulary for this rosacea condition with redness, strongyloides, which is the worm infection, and onchocerciasis, which is the one that causes the swelling of the lymph nodes, and scabies. So there you go. With all use, ivermectin is unlicensed, but the drug itself is on there for British National Formulary. It's curious, really. So now, quite a lot of pressure has been put on Professor Butler by various groupings to release data early, because this is a randomised, double-blind control trial. So Professor Butler himself, as the trial organiser, doesn't know who's getting what drug. That's the whole point. He doesn't know, so it can't influence the way he influences patients, and so it can't influence the way he interprets the data. But strange that this story has come about saying that there were supply issues with the drug, which patently there is no supply issues for it. It's readily available. So there you go. It is ongoing. I think this just illustrates a lot of the.
He holds up his box. I got it.
Course,
there's no supply issues. That's science, baby.
Several times on this channel. So there you go. We look forward with great interest to the results.
I got a box of ivermectin in there too.
Readily available and has an excellent safety profile compared to many other medications. We look forward to that.
Hilarious.
And the trial is ongoing. So it looks like we've nothing to worry about. Readily available, no supply issues. Part of the British National Formulary. So quite why this, quite where this came from, is somewhat a mystery. So not saying anyone's right, not saying anyone's wrong, just saying it's a bit strange. But a lot of you have written to me concerned, so hopefully that puts everyone's mind at rest that this ivermectin trial is ongoing.
Not saying I was right, not saying I was wrong. That's science, guys.
Okay, so now you know the rest of the story.
No,
So
you
there
don't know
it
the
is.
rest of the story, Jimmy, and you always say that.
Ivermectin.
And I fucking hate that. You know, he says now the rest of the story. Like, he robs that. He steals that line from the guy my dad used to listen to on Sundays in the garage, man, when he was working in the garage. What was that guy's name? Phil Harvey. Now you know the rest of the story. Something like that. Because watching you, man, and you never give both sides. And we'd know the rest of the story if you would put the debunkers up about against this guy. Then we would know the rest of the story. So stop saying that, Jimmy. All right?
Ivermectin, is
And stop straw manning your audience.
it in short supply? Why would they say that? What's that come from? Where does that even come from?
And if you started talking like this, you'd be a perfect Poland.
And we won't know, the results of this till September 2020.
Uncle Arthur. Was that his name on Bewitched? Paul Lynn's character? Was it Uncle Arthur? Arthur? Oh, Uncle Arthur. Take the curse off. Darren. This to be slightly selling out. or his ignorance? Josh, that's a good question. Look, I think that Jim, this is okay. I could be totally wrong, but this is just me in my head guessing that when Jimmy got his vaccine and he got long symptoms, COVID symptoms from the vaccine, that he blamed Big Pharma for poisoning him and his whole family, Steph, his producer, everybody around. They all got this pain in their fucking neck and shit. It was weird, man. They all got the same fucking symptoms. And they all said it was fucking, depending on the side of their body that they got the vaccine on, that was the side they had the symptoms on them, of their bodies. And I think that he holds a personal vendetta against Big Pharma. And because of that, and it's too bad because, there's plenty, Jimmy, to go after without having to sacrifice the truth. That's my point here. Is you don't have to just play narrative and have this guy on to prove your points. Because when you do, you're getting lied to. And this guy's lying to you, man. And you ought to believe what this guy tells you, bro. Because he's proven over time and again that he lies about shit. So as far as Jimmy goes, slightly selling out or his ignorance, I think it's a ignorance that he has towards not, wanting to assault Big Poison, which I sympathize with, man. I agree with. I want to assault Big Poison too, but I know the way for me to do it is not by straw manning my way there. And this is a piece of straw that he doesn't need. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a piece of straw he doesn't need. He doesn't need these pieces of straw. If he would investigate these people a little bit, if he would do a little research on these people, instead of having this blind, this fucking tunnel vision and not being able to, see how bad these sources are, maybe he wouldn't be standing on this hill, but I just feel like ivermectin is a very weak battle. It's especially when the science says you have to have deadly doses inside the human body in order to achieve what these studies that this doctor's pushing down his audience throats that are fucking done in petri dishes at deadly levels of ivermectin that would be in the human body to kill that fucking virus. But he doesn't want to fucking tell you that. I know, right? It's a beautiful shirt, bro. I love the cuffs. I love the cuffs. What can I say? I'm a sucker for the cuffs. What can I say? I'm a freaking Hey, what happened here, though? Look at this. We got some niceness going on there. Some goodness. We got a big jumpy over here. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Wilder, crypto.com is 46 cents. Doge is 14 cents. 14 and a half cents. So it's almost 15 cents. Eagle, Elon, Shiba, Axis, Sandbox, and that's what's in the red, guys. Everything else is in the green. Beautiful, baby. We don't know what's going to happen, man. The Super Bowl didn't do shit, huh? Thanks for being honest. A bad reaction from a vaccine you got years ago. I think maybe Jimmy's not a fan of them. Yeah, I agree, Lou. I know that. He had a bad reaction. He was in a risk factor group, and I understand that, and I sympathize with him. And I believe him. I believe him when he says they had bad reactions, man. I understand, but I just wish that he didn't, in my stupid opinion, and I'm not Jimmy Dore. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what motivates Jimmy. If I knew 1/1000th as successful as him, potion, bro. If I knew what it was, bro, what drives that guy? Psst, unreal. Nobody drops the connection to the goddamn internet anymore, pal. Unreal. Nobody's even doing it like it. Hey, so I put the roof back on my greenhouse today. Got a lot done. I want to show you what I pulled out of there, man. If you haven't seen yet. I got some of these potatoes. Look at this, guys. Out of my garden. Huh? They lasted that long underground? Yes, they did. They're perfect potatoes, man. They were there the whole goddamn season. I didn't even know it. Beflow. Potatoes. And Billy's like, how dare you? You do not get to whistle that song. That is the sacred song. The sacred song of years of professionalism. You do not get to whistle it. Ryan, what's up, buddy? I personally, judging by his persistent actions, his reaction was a mental one, purely placebo, crybaby stuff, because the reactions are super rare. I don't know, man. I've always just wanted to be his friend, man. I always just want to get along with Jimmy Dore. I just thought that maybe pointing some things out to him, he'd understand where I was coming from and maybe, have a little bit more respect for me. I felt like I got treated like a troll, But I felt like that post that he put up was inappropriate. It's like he's really starting to lean righter than ever, not in his beliefs, but in the people on the right, man. It's like he almost feels like he has to defend Tucker Carlson now. He had Don Johnson on. He used Don Johnson as a what I called was a piece of straw to bolster his argument about what was going on with mandates. Don Johnson, man. Fucking Senator Don Johnson or Ron Johnson, whatever the guy's name is. The dude's a goddamn nightmare. He's a stop the stealer, bro. And Jimmy Dore is using him as like a contemporary. It's like, look, the senator agreed with me. Dude, it's Senator Ron Johnson. The guy's a fucking psycho, January 6th stop the steal psychotic. And you're using him as a piece of straw, Jimmy? Really? I mean, you know what I said to Jimmy? I was like, hey, Jimmy, if Adolf Hitler agreed with you and he was still alive today, would you platform him on your show too? I was... Sweet Lou says, I agree, Nate, but the facts are the COVID vaccine has been administered over 10 million doses. Right, Lou? I agree, man, right? I agree, Lou. That's why you're sweet, bro. That's why I love you, Lou. You're right. I love you, bro. Sorry for bad typing. I'm cooking. That's okay, man. Cook me something good, bro. I hope it's tasty. What's the topic tonight? Oh, man, Jimmy Dore ratioed me on Twitter, bro. That's what we're talking about. Jimmy Dore fucking ripped my head off on Twitter. You did get treated badly. I told you he would treat you that way too, specifically. That guy doesn't care about you. He'll take your shit and ignore you. Yeah, Billy, you predicted this. You said that this was going to happen. And I said, hey, man, remember what I said? I said, at least I'm getting some attention from him for once. At least he's finally talking to me. Because years and years and years that I've supported him and tweeted at him and put messages under his videos, Treat badly. I told you he would treat you. Okay. But since he had a bad reaction, he's spreading all the misinformation to people that probably won't, putting them at risk. It's stupid that he does that. Nick, right? Right, Lou, right? I mean, he does a lot of good. Jimmy Dore does a lot of good in what he does. He does. And he did the whole fucking Medicare for all, forced the vote. And before that, he exposed the Young Turks for everything he could. When they attacked him unnecessarily over it, he exposed them for exactly what they deserve to be exposed for. And he did a really good job of that. He's exposed a lot of people, man, on the show. He's done a lot of good work. He's done a lot of good reporting. How much death is on his hands. Nick, take him on hard. He's a cock, so take the clout. One, I can't talk about. I am definitely not up to date on U.S. politics. Yeah. I don't know, man. I wonder how goeth the ratio bathing is going on Twitter. Oh, he's showing my glitchy shit. Token Dave is showing my glitchies. There it is. Total glitchy. Token Dave is showing me my glitchies in a video. Total glitchies, bruh. Total glitchies, bruh. All right, so here, let's do this. Oh boy. Like to reply to my tweet. Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah, there it is. It's 81. Okay, it's 81 still. It's not that bad. I guess everyone's left it alone. Just 81 people, man. I was waiting to see if the people that we all follow were going to jump on. Like Jimmy Dore and I both follow Lee Camp, Graham Elwood, Ron Placone, his wife, Miserable Lib. But none of them liked the tweet. And you know what? That makes me feel so loved by all of those people, by Jimmy's family. It's nice. Nick's like, I wouldn't have followed any of those people without you. Jimmy doesn't give the full story. Right, Dommy, dom, 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 dom. I agree with you. If you haven't, please leave a thumbs up. Thanks, Nick. I wonder what Ron would have to say about the encounter between you and Jimmy. I wouldn't want to put him on the spot to answer to it. I know they're close. I wouldn't all of the people I mentioned, I know they're all close with Jimmy. I wouldn't. I don't want to press it. The fact that they haven't liked it right now is nice. A lot of the accounts that like that are brand new accounts or just have a very small amount of followers. And none of them are really saying anything about it. So that's good. I assume that none of them are watching this on Twitter. Cushy Monster, I'm going to stay following you. You've got 2 followers and I'm one of them. Reef Breland agreeing with Jimmy Dore. Super appreciate you. He goes, best of luck to you, sir. Best of luck to you. I said best of luck to you and stuff. You're going to look into this Jimmy Dore? But now you have because of me? You're welcome. And I should tell Jimmy you're welcome to him, too. He's got a new follower. Like I said, I'm still on his gold member club on his website, jimmydorecomedy.com. I'm still a gold member for the next entire year. Paid up in full. I'm a gold member. And I haven't thrown that in his face on Twitter at all. I mean, I did unsubscribe, but it was after I paid up for a full year. And I'm not asking for it back either. I'm letting him have it. He gives me a lot of money for the triage oil. A lot of money. And he doesn't have to. But Kurt Metzger should do this shit. Pull shit up on his computer, research some of these people, Who is this? Jack Casey. Dude, it's fucking, that guy's hilarious. Pro tip. Ryan fucking High Rise says the only way to protect freedom is to arrest those talking about it. Makes sense, CBC. Is it any wonder why nobody watches this shit anymore? Ratings talk, rhetoric walks. Yeah, bro. You fucking rock, fucking High Rise, you motherfucker. God, I love this guy. That's right, motherfucker. That is what's up. All these girls, you see them all year on Twitter showing their asses and shit all over fucking Twitter. And then on Valentine's Day, they're all like, I hate Valentine's Day. That's so funny. What song should I play during the apocalypse? I should give them my playlist from YouTube, man. I wonder if I could do that. Can you fucking do that? You go to playlists, dude. Get playlists, bruh. Get playlists, bruh. Get playlists, bruh. Yeah, bruh, you can get playlists, bruh. Yeah, bruh, you can go to playlists, bruh. Yeah, bruh, you can go to playlists, bruh. You can't find your playlists, bruh. You gotta go to history, bruh. You gotta go to library, bruh. You gotta go to library, bruh. Where you gonna find your playlists at, bruh? You can find your playlist, bruh. There's your playlist, bruh. Tunes you get high to, bruh. It says it's private, bruh. It says it's private, bruh. says it's private. How do I fix it? View full playlist. It's private. Private. Public. Okay. Now, if I open link in new window. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole playlist, yeah. Hey, close that shit up. Everybody just calm the fuck down. You're welcome. Give a list of my whole fucking playlist. Dude, I wonder if it'll play the whole goddamn playlist for anybody because I made it public. Your tweet was, dude, I wonder if that, dude, tell me if this works for you guys. Here, somebody click on this link on YouTube and let me know if that plays those songs for you guys. See if anybody can make those songs play by clicking on that link. I don't know because it says twitter.com on it. That one says twitter.com. This one says youtube.com. It's weird. Here, wait. It's the wrong link. Hold on. Twitter.com. Hold on. Uh-oh. Dude, it's the wrong shit, bro. You're welcome. Click on that. No, bro, it's bringing up the wrong thing, bruh. It's bringing up my status, bruh. It's the wrong thing, bruh. It's the wrong thing, bruh. Okay, open in new. Hold on. Play all. Open in new window. Okay, that's all. Okay. Pause. Copy. Yes. Okay. Now. No, don't start playing the song, you fucking idiots. All right. Now, going to go back over here. We're going to get rid of this stupid tweet because it's wrong. We're going to delete it. No, I don't want to delete it yet. I just want to go back. I want to do another one. Yeah. I want to make sure because I want to be able to find that shit. You're welcome. Oh, YouTube. There it is. This one right here. That one right there. Is that one? Does that link right there, not the other link, this link. Took you to the tweet with Jimmy, right? Try this link instead. Try that link. I fucking hate Valentine's Day. So funny. Where's my reply, bruh? Where's my reply, bruh? Where's my reply, bruh? You're welcome. YouTube, you're welcome. What? What's it take you to? Does it just take you to one song or does it play the whole playlist like when you go to the end? Like here. Like if you go all the way to the end, what happens? 25. Videos unavailable. Videos private. Oh, dude. Dude, went to private, bruh. Went to private, bruh. It went to private, bruh. It went to private, bruh. I don't know why it said it was private. No! Stop playing the song, you idiots. God, I hate you all so much. Fuck you. All of you YouTube motherfuckers. All right. Hello, everyone. So here we are. Okay, so oh no. No. Oh no, Jimmy Dore's going live. No. Don't talk about. Let's watch. You guys want to watch Jimmy Dore? We can watch Jimmy. Rumble. He says on all platforms. He says he's going live on all platforms. You know? So he says, I thought I had his channel up. I must have closed it. He's live on Rumble, but I don't want to watch on Rumble because I hate fucking Rumble. So let's see if he's live. He said live on all platforms. Ooh, look at that speed test, 2810. Let's retest that right now. Look at that mouse work. Wow, look at that mouse work across 3 screens. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Testing how many megs? Oh, downloading 76 megs. Okay. You scored what? You scored 30. I scored 30 while I'm uploading. Jimmy Dore's live with 6,000 people watching. Look at these. Going to be like, look at this cookie loser. Look at this cookie loser. He's not talking about me.
Washington, the happiest.
He's already live, dude.
So the U.S.
He's already live, bruh.
To sign this
He's already live, bruh.
But there's a problem. Yanukovych realizes at the last minute.
Progressive magnum opus get released.
Pensions, and I'm going to have to cut energy subsidies. And this will doom my re-election campaign. This is not going to fly. So he gets cold feet. And Russia sweeps in and sees an opportunity. And they offer him a more generous trade association deal, which he then says he is going to sign. And they also use some coercive measures too. But the point is he caves and says, I'm going to go with Russia. That then sets off these major protests against Yanukovych. And the U.S. gets firmly behind the protests. And there's a major part of those protests that are legitimate. They're anti-corruption, and Yanukovych was very corrupt. But the problem is there's also an element.
I'm thinking about more Kafefi, man.
They don't just want an end to corruption. They want regime change. And the U.S., as it often does, skillfully basically puts its weight behind the fascist elements. John McCain, Chris Murphy go over there, meet with a far-right leader, put their arms around him in Maidan. And all this culminates basically in a violent coup that forces Yanukovych to flee.
In my
and
mailbox.
He does so only after there's an agreement brokered with the EU to hold new elections. And this coup undermines that. And the U.S. definitely is on the side of the far right because we know that now from that leaked phone call that came out around then, that Victoria Nuland, who was then a top senior State Department official, she's now back working for Joe Biden, basically running his Ukraine policy again. There's a leaked phone call where she's speaking to the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine at the time, and they're picking the next Ukrainian prime minister. Nuland says Yats is the guy, and that's a reference to Yatsenyuk, who, lo and behold, a few weeks later became the prime minister. So the U.S. was heavily involved in this coup, and that sets off this 8-year conflict that we're still dealing with now, and that has led to this major geopolitical standoff. Russia responded to that coup by seizing Crimea because this new Ukrainian government was talking about joining NATO, and Russia was faced with the prospect of having NATO absorb its most important naval base in Crimea. So Putin took Crimea, which of course angered neocons in Washington, and you have the separatist war in the East break out. And for the separatist war, a major fighting force, and they've been integrated into
my Kramers are here, man.
Forces is something called the Azov Battalion.
So I don't know. I don't think they're in my house. They might be in my box. So hold on.
And is a, if not a neo-Nazi militia now, I think they are. But even if you want to be generous, they're certainly neo-fascist, and that's who the U.S. is siding with inside of Ukraine.
And so it has to do, so this NATO membership, right? And so now I've heard that the Ukraine is willing to withdraw their possible membership in NATO so they can avoid a war with Russia. Have you heard that?
Yeah, so the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK said that in a radio interview that Ukraine is now willing to consider taking off the table its request for NATO membership. And, this seems like an explosive concession, but it's also one that everybody admits is reality anyway. Zelensky the president of Ukraine, has never expected that Ukraine will join NATO. In fact, the Wall Street Journal recently reported, and I wrote about this, that Zelensky basically asked to join NATO because he wanted to look tough. That's the wording of the Wall Street Journal. That Zelensky wanted to look tough in the face of Russia and in the eyes of the Biden administration. So that's why he asked for it. And Biden has said that Ukraine will not be joining NATO at least anytime soon because they're so divided and so corrupt. But because of the U.S. insists on being able to dictate the policies of the entire world, it doesn't want to give Russia this symbolic win by taking NATO off the table, and that's what's driving so much of this current crisis.
And so a big part of this, again, is the establishment news media just repeats CIA talking points uncritically. And there's a video you tweeted out of Peter Engel, who's a foreign correspondent. Richard Engel, who's a foreign correspondent for NBC News. And he launched this report, and let me play it for you, and then we'll tell you what's wrong with it. Okay, here we go.
Some communities are taking matters into their own hands. Just across from Russia, in the city of Mariupol, some Ukrainians are preparing. Basic training for the whole family, learning first aid to treat gunshot and shrapnel wounds, and weapons training. On a 7.62 caliber AK-47 is Valentina Konstantinovskaya. The 79-year-old is a retired accountant and a great-grandmother.
Hear about my mother.
Kramer!
And I can't picture
Kramer! We're gonna make some coffee and celebrate!
Learning how to fire an assault rifle. Do you think you would actually be doing this?
Yes, if Putin comes, I should be able to shoot. The threat is very serious, she says, and I think every person in our country should be able to shoot from the window or on the street if the enemy comes.
So what do you think is wrong with that video there? So now Peter Engel's over there. He's interviewing these Richard Engel's over there interviewing these sweet grandmothers who just want to defend their own country. And well, first of all, if you know anything about that lady, which we found out, it's unbelievable. But even more so, look at this. I don't know, people, what this is. So all those soldiers that were helped training those, they're wearing this.
A neo-Nazi fascist militia that even the U.S., even though it's supporting these militias inside Ukraine, it's so afraid of the Azov battalion that there's even on the books, U.S. law bans military assistance to the Azov battalion. John Conyers got this passed when he was in Congress because it's recognized that they are a neo-fascist, neo-Nazi militia. And Richard Engel is such a dupe that he went to this stupid media stunt. We're being shown a great-grandmother firing a weapon. It even occurred to them to check who were the people training these Ukrainian civilians. And it turns out, because they didn't do that, they got duped by neo-Nazis. And it speaks to the integral role of neo-fascists inside the Ukrainian armed forces today and in the proxy fight against Russia, that it's the Azov battalion that is coordinating these media stunts for really credulous Western media dupes like Richard Engel, who's a chief foreign correspondent of NBC News. So today, NBC News just did literal neo-Nazi propaganda. The same network railing all the time about Joe Rogan using the N-word back, many years ago, did literal neo-Nazi propaganda today. And you think any of their so-called fascism experts or disinformation experts are going to say anything about this?
So, wait, isn't it amazing? Isn't it? I don't know. It's odd to me that the same media that tells us there's a Nazi hiding in every Canadian truck fails to mention that we are backing Nazis in Ukraine. Isn't that weird? I think it's weird.
It's really weird.
Yes. I like what they did with the look how they did their own thing with the Nazi SS symbol, right? They had their own little flair for the net. That's what that is, right? They put a little twist on the SS Thunderbolts. That's what they did.
Well, they do originate in Nazi Germany, out of a militia in Nazi Germany. That is their historical root.
But Aaron, I mean, if we can back ISIS in Syria, backing Nazis in Ukraine is not a big stretch, right?
No, it's not. And by the way, happy anniversary to Jake Sullivan, our current national security advisor, who's keeping the country safe, who 10 years ago, Jimmy, this past weekend, wrote that email to Hillary Clinton, his boss at the State Department, which simply said, Al-Qaeda is on our side in Syria.
Yes.
So Jake Sullivan has gone from siding with Al-Qaeda in Syria to neo-Nazis in Ukraine.
So let me just cover this. Instead of reporting factual information, U.S. media outlets have flooded their audiences with what one Western intelligence official calls a strategic communications campaign. Part one of that communication strategy, don't mention we back actual Nazis. And the second part of that communication campaign, cancel Joe Rogan. That will be it. Here we go. The campaign is described uncritically by CNN as a series of alarming headlines and a drumbeat of official disclosures that have come from agency spokesmen and officials.
No, Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy does not lean right.
In fact, asking reporters to report the material without confirmation.
You don't understand
In
American
short, a
politics if you
strategic
think he leans
communications
right.
Campaign of state propaganda.
You probably think Joe Rogan
So,
leans right
what do
too.
they mean when they say we have very little evidence? Well, Ned Price told us that is the evidence, right? Whatever he says, that's if there's evidence that they have it, there's evidence that they have evidence, and Ned told you that they have it, so now go report that uncritically. Isn't that how it works, Aaron?
That's exactly how it works. And look, that was the playbook normalized by Russiagate, right? The reason why we stood out and we were called heretics is because we committed the sin of asking for evidence for all these insane claims we got every single week for more than 2 years. And by the way, let me just congratulate Jimmy. Every dupe in U.S. media who played along with Russiagate or didn't challenge it have rendered themselves completely useless. Right
God,
now
it's
when it
tough to
comes
finish
this
my fucking
current
taxes.
Ukraine crisis, because it's the same thing where we're being told to accept government claims on faith, and we're being told that it's in the U.S. interest to saber rattle with Russia. Exactly what we opposed for so long and what was so dangerous about Russiagate, among many things. And so many people, out of careerism or cowardice, whatever it is,
Yeah, Joe Rogan is
didn't
brilliant.
challenge it.
I
And
agree.
they've
He's
then
great.
rendered themselves
Great at what he does.
completely ineffective in pushing back on a very, really dangerous moment.
And
Where
everybody,
even the left, even the professional left,
I mean, when
like
someone's
Bernie
willing to give you
Sanders
$100 million
and other
for what you do,
progressives
you're doing
they're
something
seeing the
right.
anti-war sentiment to the right.
yes,
It's insane.
insane. But Bernie Sanders is never going to cross Joe Biden, and that's just it. He's never going to cross Joe Biden. So if Joe Biden wants to lie about Ukraine, Bernie Sanders is going to let him. He said, he talked when you say he's the professional left, emphasis on the professional, less emphasis on the left part, because Bernie Sanders is a tool of the establishment. Russia could seize Kiev in days and cause 50,000 civilian deaths in Ukraine. U.S. assessment 5. So that's the kind of news reporting you get. They just repeat the propaganda coming straight from the State Department and the CIA. So I had many more examples of this, but I forgot to load them into this keynote. And now I feel
Yeah, right, Ryan. Kudos to Joe Rogan.
Get them for. But anyway, U.S. assessment, huh? Who else? But I'm more than satisfied. Who else needs more evidence?
Dude, you need to do your own
How could you
podcast.
possibly want more evidence than that?
You need to do your own podcast and call it Ryan Webcast. Web.
Assessment from the U.S. about variety from a Biden. Am I
Welcome
right?
to another
Come on.
webcast.
What do you say? They are still trying to reassure Russia with arguments that NATO is a peaceful and purely defensive organization.
Рассуждениями о том, что НАТО мирная и сугубо оборонительная организация, сугубо оборонительная.
A purely defensive alliance.
Насколько это соответствует действительности.
Citizens of many states have seen their own experience how true this is. I have in mind Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan. He's talking about how NATO is not peaceful.
В собственном опыте убедились граждане многих государств, я имею в виду Ирак, Ливия, Афганистан, ну и, собственно говоря,
And he says that, in fact, the corresponding large-scale military operation against Belgrade, Serbia.
то есть военная крупномасштабная операция в отношении Белграда без санкций Совета Безопасности.
Without the sanction of the UN Security Council.
Это, конечно,
this, of course, he said, this, of course, an event that is far from what a peace organization should do. He's talking about the bombing of Serbia.
Мероприятие далекое от того, что могла бы осуществлять мирная организация.
So that's what Putin had to say about it. He's letting you know that NATO is not a peaceful organization. And, I mean, that's just funny that they would even say that. So what else should people know, Aaron?
Well, is that the Biden administration has such a huge responsibility for this current crisis that they're confronting. I mean, they essentially created it. They created it with the Maidan coup, and it's all the same people, Victoria Nuland, Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden's centrality to this whole thing is captured in the fact that...
Hey, you guys want to know what Jimmy Dore looks like after he's been in a Twitter war with me?
Obligated to give Hunter Biden a board seat for a gas company.
Not a care in the world, bro.
That's because Joe Biden was a very important figure in Ukraine and a major player in the 2014 coup. And so you have to wonder, I mean, you know, for all the conspiracy theories about Trump being compromised by blackmail and leverage, I mean, Biden is so heavily involved with Ukraine that if there's a much more plausible case to make that Biden is actually compromised by blackmail threats and other compromising materials. He was so heavily involved in the coup that he got the prosecutor fired who was investigating Burisma. And contrary, by the way, to what we hear often, that case was not won. That's actually a lie I learned recently from Branko.
I'm gonna get some pliers really quick.
Writer for Jacobin, wrote a book about Jacobin. So all these people, Victoria Nuland, Biden, Jake Sullivan, have a major role in this conflict, and the fear mongering campaign they've made of a Russian invasion is also based on hype. Russia has been deploying forces to its Ukrainian border for a long time. In fact, in my article, I have a graphic of years of like fear-mongering headlines going back many years about Russian troop deployments on Ukraine's border. So really, actually, this troop buildup is not anything that new. We've seen it before. What's different is that the Biden administration is using this for a fear-mongering campaign, every week feeding credulous media panic about an imminent Russia invasion. And the only people who seem to believe it are U.S. media stenographers. You know, Ukraine is constantly telling Biden to stop sowing panic because it's really hurting their economy. People are fleeing, investors are fleeing, companies are fleeing, diplomats are fleeing. It's bad for Ukraine. It's not obviously good for the rest of Europe. It's causing a lot of panic there. But it's good, I guess, for neocons in Washington. And that's right now who is driving policy in the Biden White House.
Okay, if you're getting your information about Ukraine from the corporate news media, you're being misinformed and lied to. Just so you know, just like you're getting your information on COVID from the corporate news, you're getting in misinformation. So appreciate you tuning in to here, and you can hear Aaron Mate explain it to you, and I'll show you why guys like Richard Engel are willing propagandists. So we're going to talk about Hillary Clinton next, and what she's doing around Russiagate. In just a second, let me throw it to Steph.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hey, you know, increased blood pressure said the great irony of Canada supporting real Nazis while calling all freedom fighting Canadians Nazis. Thank you, increased blood pressure. And
damn,
today,
Steph.
Nazis don't like Joe Rogan. Who would have guessed? Increased blood pressure. It's interesting that the chief executive of Apotex, makers have that hydroxy stuff, was found beaten to death with his wife in their billionaire super secure home before mRNA shots were okay.
Woo!
Ooh, increased blood pressure.
Now,
increased blood pressure.
Now I know why Jimmy Dore don't give a fuck about me on Twitter.
Would never be used or should be jeered at from now on. Increased
Dang.
Ben Redward. Thank you, Ben. Increased blood pressure. Return to CEO just dumped stock and bailed off of Twitter. See for yourself.
Damn, Steph.
Ivermectin a day keeps the tyrants away. Love ya. Stephen John for truly remarkable show and brownie. Love you all. Increased blood pressure, politics, and current voting systems are
Woo.
popularity contests. The people that want to help us most often
Love that
don't have
woman.
charisma to win.
What can
and
I
now,
say?
Jimmy Dore.
I'm here with American independent journalist Aaron Mate. Oh no, he's not American. He's Canadian. I'm here with Canadian independent journalist and resident of the United States, Aaron Mate. Welcome to my country. I hope you're enjoying it.
Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful.
Now, Aaron, I just have a quick question before we get into this next thing. You know, I was on Russell Brand's podcast this week because, you know, people want to talk to me. I'm very important. And if Russell Brand makes a movie where he plays Jesus and you got a chance to be in it, which disciple would you play? Now, I think you resemble the Apostle Andrew with his glowing skin, but he was martyred on an X-shaped cross. Did you know that? But
I did not know that.
So it's only a movie.
He's like, I did not know that.
It'd be memorable. Russell and I are getting a massage later together. I'll ask him about it. But what do you say?
You know, I was in the high school production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, no kidding.
Billy.
I'm pretty sure I played Peter. I don't remember now.
Russell and Jimmy are getting a massage together.
Who I built my church on.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Peter. You know, just keep the roll going.
Okay, I like it.
Making sure you got that.
All right, so here's a big story. Now, Aaron is famous for debunking Russiagate, so this is more of that.
I guess that's a thing.
Clinton campaign paid tech workers to dig up Trump-Russia connections, says a report. What? Huh? Hang on. Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign paid an internet company to infiltrate servers at Trump Tower and the White House in order to link Donald Trump to Russia, a bombshell new legal filing alleges.
And this is from the New York Post that I
The
would
Friday
read because I
filing
don't
from
trust
the
them.
Department of Justice. That's Merrick Garland's Department of Justice. That's Joe Biden's Department of Justice. They tasked with investigating.
Guys put in by William Barr, guys.
Russia probe served to throw cold water on Democrats' longstanding allegations of collusion, which means conspiracy.
Is he going to mention Bill Barr?
Special counsel John Durham filed a motion related to potential conflicts of interest in connection with the case of Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman, who is charged with lying to the feds, according to Fox News. Now, we already covered this story here once. I'll explain it to you. So this guy, Michael Sussman, he goes to the FBI being paid to do this by Hillary Clinton, and he tells the FBI a fake story that he has documentation and evidence that Alpha Bank, which is a Russian bank, and Donald Trump's campaign are conspiring together to do nefarious stuff. That's a totally bogus thing that was made up. He was asked if he was working at the behest of Hillary Clinton. When he did that, plant that false story at the FBI, he said he was not being paid by her. Later, we found out he billed her for his trip to the FBI where he planted that story.
Can you believe the nerve?
So that's
the
Hillary
gall.
Clinton's lawyer did that. Planted a fake
to bill
Russiagate
for that
story
goddamn
with
trip.
the FBI, which is why he is now charged with the crime of lying to the feds. That came out of that came out of this Durham investigation.
That's crooked
So he's
as fuck.
investigating the Russiagate investigation.
Lock her up,
and he's
man.
finding out all the lies inside the Russiagate investigation. Okay. Now we already know that people lied to the FISA court during the Russiagate investigation, and they got caught. Sussman allegedly told the FBI he was not working on behalf of the Clinton when he presented his evidence. Durham's motion reportedly alleged Sussman had assembled and conveyed the allegations to the FBI on behalf of at least two specific clients, including a technology executive, So they're referred to as Tech Executive One. Do you know who that is, Aaron?
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, his name is Rodney Jaffe. He was planning on becoming Hillary Clinton's cybersecurity czar once she won presidency in 2016.
And so that's who we're referring to. And so as Tech Executive One.
Yeah.
So Sussman was acting on behalf of Tech Executive One at a U.S.-based internet company, which is internet company, and the Clinton campaign. So he's doing the bidding of all these people. And this guy, Tech Executive One, wanted to get a spot in Hillary Clinton's campaign. In her
cabinet.
Or administration. Records show he repeatedly billed the Clinton campaign for his work with the Russia Bank allegations, which involved an investigation for a tech executive. In 2017, Sussman provided an updated set of allegations about then President Trump's Russian connection to another government agency, the motion said.
And that agency, Jimmy, is the CIA.
Oh, so Sussman provided an updated set of allegations about President Trump to the CIA. So he went to the FBI and the CIA pushing bogus Russiagate information. Among the accusations leveled at the time was that suspicious Department of National Security lookups by Russian-affiliated IP addresses demonstrated Trump and or his associates.
Not Department of National Security, Jimmy, you dummy. Oh my God.
The White House and other locations. Now, so what this alleges, could you explain that?
So DNS, Jimmy, I love the acronym you just made up out of the whole class, but that's not what DNS means.
That's not what it means?
No, it means domain something. I don't know. Whatever.
Domain name server.
That. I made up DNS.
Right.
But it was good though. Department of National Security. No one else would have known if you didn't say anything.
I knew. See, I sent your bullshit from a mile away, Jimmy. That's why people watch my show.
Contract with the government and to do some cyber stuff, and he used that contract to basically get access to data, including coming from the White House, that he could then use to make a case that there was some kind of Trump Russia.
And get no love in my chat for doing it
was that
at all.
Russian-made wireless phones were being used in the vicinity of the White House. So I guess what he was trying to suggest there is that the Trump team was using Russian-made phones to communicate as part of their secret plot that they not only did on the campaign but brought into the administration. I mean, Durham doesn't explain what they were going for there, but that's what I'm drawing from.
Yes, that's exactly it. But what the important thing is that this guy, he was a contractor for the federal government, so he had access to look this stuff up inside the White House. So he's literally spying, using his access to spy on data to try to concoct some bullshit case about Trump and Russia and then present it to the CIA and the FBI. And so he was using his actual government insider connection to get this info on Trump and then present it as if it's proof of a conspiracy. And so when Trump said they were spying on him, he was 100% correct. They were spying on him.
And he was mocked for saying that. And
right.
The FBI has tried to say, "Oh no, we weren't spying on the campaign. We just were targeting a few."
I'm glad because fuck Trump. He lied 30,000 times to the American people. So I'm glad they didn't believe him. That's what happens when you lie 30,000 times, guys. But you don't want to mention that about Donald Trump right now.
I have to reserve.
Who could believe anything he ever fucking says?
Motion. It's a very
after you lied 30,000 fucking times while you're president of the United States. What a piece of shit.
If he had a new tie, that would be front page news.
Yes.
Or if they found some innocuous email that meant nothing, that would be front. But try to find this being covered right now on MSNBC or New York Times. It's not happening.
Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares about Trump. Because fuck Trump, bro. How about that?
DNS traffic.
How about you guys? Fuck Trump. That's why nobody's reporting on it.
That
Nobody
tech
cares.
Executive one and others had assembled pertaining to Trump Tower, Donald Trump's New York apartment.
Hey, newsflash. Trump was finally right about one thing that he was claiming. Hey, nobody gives a fuck. There's your newsflash.
It should mean that. Maybe it means the executive office.
Something.
I don't know.
And the aforementioned healthcare provider. So there you go. Durham said his office found no support for these allegations, claiming the supposed evidence Sussman provided was incomplete and skewed or made up.
Remember?
Exactly.
The fake news media, the fake news. Why the fuck should they give a fuck about him now, Jimmy? The fake news media. He's investigating reporters. Donald Trump was literally investigating reporters, bro. You don't want to mention that, do you, Jimmy?
The documents.
Aaron Monte, you don't want to mention that, do you, bro?
My campaign and presidency were spied on by operatives paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign in an effort to develop a completely fabricated connection to Russia. Well, that seems to be 100% true. from the evidence.
Nobody cares, Jimmy.
Kash Patel, who was chief investigator of the House's probe into Trump's alleged Russian
I
ties,
care about as much as
said in
that
a
as my
statement
audience
that
cares that
Dure's
you fucking
filings was
ratioed me on
definitive
Twitter.
evidence
Did any of you
that
guys go over to
Clinton's
Twitter and
campaign
try to
orchestrated
give me
a
any
criminal
support by liking
enterprise
my
to
tweets and shit?
fabricate a connection
Let me know in the
between President
chat.
Trump and Russia. Now, Kash Patel, who was he a lawyer that worked for the House, or is he a congressman?
He is a lawyer by training. He used to
What aboutism and Trump derangement syndrome? I'm sad. All right, we'll see. We'll see how sad I am.
discovered that the Clinton campaign paid for the Steele dossier.
Oh no!
But
kidding.
after for over a year, and the reason they admitted it is because Kash Patel and his committee subpoenaed financial records that would have forced them to admit it, and that's when they came out, in late 2017 and admitted it. So Kash Patel, and I've interviewed him now a couple of times on Pushback, and he discovered a lot of really serious stuff, and that's why the U.S. media.
I got to tell you, what's really funny is I'm actually happy because I'm watching Donald Trump cry about this, and nobody cares except for Jimmy Dore and Aaron Mate, and nobody fucking cares. That's hilarious to me, actually. Up yonder,
fabricate a tie between Trump and Russia.
And I'm just going to let him. You could go ahead and change the way you spell your name from a K to a C. No one's going to be upset, but make you look a lot cooler. That's just what I would switch. I would switch it from a K to a C. Your Kash Patel, fucking money, baby, your money.
Right, Lou?
Former lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith was the first person charged with making a false
Shows
statement
how
in connection
gullible
with the
people
Durham
are,
investigation.
stupid they are.
He pleaded guilty in 2020 to falsifying a document used by the FBI. So that's when he lied to the FISA court. They document, and so they could get that FISA.
Hey, you guys. Okay, thanks, Captain. It should block out every once in a while, man. It's a new system.
Hid from the FISA court that Carter Page, who trying to spy on, that he was an operational contact for the CIA.
He hid that this guy was working for the CIA. He hid that from the court.
Yeah.
He hid that because if they had found that out, they probably wouldn't give the Pfizer. They would go, "What? He's your." So, and here's what Trump has to say about it.
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's no real evidence.
Like he's
of
a
that.
child.
Yes, there is. It's all over the
Like
place.
he's a child.
Leslie,
Sir.
they spied on my campaign.
William Barr promised
Nobody
that Durham
cares.
would expose huge corruption, but he hasn't done that.
Is apparently an ongoing concerted Republican of the Russia scandal into some kind of scandal itself.
Oh no, okay, wait till the Dore report comes out. And then nothing happens and they just move on to the next conspiracy theory. It is never going to end. And guess what? People who want to believe that BS are going to believe it.
So that's what the mainstream news media is saying about the Durham report. And what we're saying about the Durham report is they're uncovering the lies that got this Russiagate conspiracy theory started. And where did it come from? It came from the Clinton campaign.
They fucking haven't uncovered anything yet. It's just an accusation. Let's wait for the goddamn for all the goddamn information. He's jumping the gun there a little bit. You know, they're doing an end down. He's doing like a goddamn end zone fucking spike dance, and it's not there yet. I'd be a little bit more patient with this.
Just wait for the Durham report to come out.
It hasn't come out yet.
Hasn't come out yet. Hasn't come out yet. So what are you talking about? It's like about what he's saying is exactly what the Russiagate line was. Like, oh, don't worry, Mueller's going to find the conspiracy. Just wait. He's going to indict someone soon for for collusion, and that never happened. But just wait till the report comes out. Then we're going to find out. The report came out. Oh no, just wait till we get the redactions because it got redacted. I mean, he's projecting in a way I've never seen someone project before. He's describing himself and every single other Russiagate.
That's how they handled Russiagate. We would say, "How about some evidence?" Oh, hey, wait till the Mueller report. Then Mueller report. They did. So when he was saying that, I'm like, wow, that everybody who was a Russiagator is doing unbelievable projection. From Cenk Uygur to Rachel Maddow to now Don Lemon. They are, or to Keith, certainly Keith Olbermann. They are the things they claim to hate. And here's what Glenn Greenwald says about it. He says the New York Times, CNN, and NBC Access flooded the zone every time Robert Mueller scratched his nose. They spent hours and hours deciphering his every sneeze. Actual criminal indictments from Durham of Hillary's lawyer or FBI operatives, crimes that created Russiagate, barely merit an article. So the concocting of this conspiracy that we're now peeling the onion away and finding the truth of how this got started, no one's talking about it. And the only time they do talk about it is to completely dismiss it as nothing. Isn't that interesting? Among the reason the media might want to cover the developments in John Durham's criminal probe of the fraudulent Alpha Bank story and the crimes committed to spread it, the Clinton 2016 official at the heart of it is now Joe Biden's national security advisor in charge of Ukraine, Jake Sullivan, sorry. So there it is. God bless America. And here's another guy. Here's Eric Bullard, who's a paid propagandist liar. He says the fact that Garland, meaning Merrick Garland, who's the head of the Justice Department, allows idiotic Durham investigation to continue and fails to prosecute Trump really says it all. What does it say, Eric? Are you saying that now Joe Biden and Merrick Garland are working for Russia? What are you saying? Because that's what it sounds. What does it say? You say it says it all. It says it all what? That they're working for Russia too? What are you saying it says? He doesn't know what it says because David Brock hasn't told him what to say yet. But David Brock will send him an email with a check, and then Eric Bullard will know what to say. What a fucking moron. Could you believe? Hey, look at he got 5,000. So these are people who just want Trump prosecuted, and now they're turning on Merrick Garland and Joe Biden over it. There's no, the evidence is the other way. This guy's, everything he claims to hate, he is worse than Sean Hannity.
Jimmy, again, going back to projection, what was one of the main liberal causes of the Trump era? It was protect the Mueller investigation. Barr was going to shut down the Mueller investigation. Right. We had to prevent that. Rachel Maddow was saying this is a 5-alarm fire moment.
That's right.
Remember after the midterms when Trump fired Jeff Beauregard Sessions?
Oh my God. Yes.
Move on. All these liberal groups organized protests to save Jeff's job. And that's because they felt as if the Mueller investigation was going to be shut down. Now these same people cheer for Garland to shut down the investigation into what is now everyone knows was a scam. No one serious believes anymore that there was Trump-Russia collusion, except the most devout Blue Anon members. And now there's an effort to have some accountability for that and all the major consequences it caused, not just to, in the U.S., but to geopolitics, increased tensions with Russia, pushing this into the very moment we're in right now, where, remember after Mueller failed, immediately Democrats pivoted to Ukraine Gate, impeaching Trump after he froze some weapons to Ukraine. And the whole premise of the Democrats' message was we have to arm Ukraine so we can fight Russia over there and not over here. So basically, deeply entrenching inside the liberal mind this idea that it's good to ramp up tensions with Russia and to arm neo-Nazis in Ukraine, which leads us right to this current moment right now. And the gift these people are giving, by the way, in refusing to admit that they pushed a scam and continue to double down on covering up for it. It's such a gift. If I was a Republican strategist, I'd be overjoyed at what these people are doing and how they're mocking people who are interested in finding out what actually happened.
That's what the left is always doing. They're always shooting themselves in the foot.
It is a gift,
and
just like when you call truckers and farmers protesting mandated experimental gene therapies, we call them white racist Trumpers, even though they live in another country. They're Trumpers somehow. Wait, are they going to start calling Jon Stewart?
I know a Canadian that supports Donald Trump.
Joe Rogan, so that's coming. That's coming.
There's one more update on this Russiagate thing because it's tied in. Basically, one of the biggest aspects of the Clinton campaign's operation was this firm CrowdStrike.
Yes.
That's the private firm that kicked off the entire thing by publicly accusing Russia of hacking the DNC.
And now
as
why?
I reported,
why? Let me just explain to people the reason why CrowdStrike was given a platform to talk about this, because they were the cybersecurity firm hired by the Democratic National Committee to look at their server to see who got those emails, and it turned out they said
Orlando.
It was Russia. right? Isn't that? And it turns
I
out
don't
it
know,
wasn't
ABJ.
Russia. And Bill Binney proved that it was a local download. It wasn't hacked by anybody. And the Democratic National Committee never gave their server to the FBI, even though the FBI requested it. They said, no, we got our private company called CrowdStrike, and they've got it. They did.
Against Russia, just as the Clinton campaign was also paying Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele to come up with this fake Trump-Russia collusion claim. So you have two Clinton campaign contractors being behind the two allegations at the heart of Russiagate. Trump-Russia collusion that comes from Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele, and the Russia DNC hack that comes from CrowdStrike. And as you say, the FBI never independently examined the DNC servers, and they relied on CrowdStrike's reports. Now, the update that I have to give, and there's a tie-in to Michael Sussman here, this indicted Clinton.
All right,
campaign
Orlando.
lawyer who
Thank
pushed
you for the
Alphabet
prediction.
scam, because CrowdStrike was hired by Michael Sussman, who oversaw their operations. And Michael Sussman, immediately after CrowdStrike went public by accusing Russia, he immediately started lobbying the FBI to endorse CrowdStrike's claims. And the FBI at the time was like, well, we haven't looked at the server, and we don't even have your reports that, on your investigation of the server. And later on, by the way, a year or two later, CrowdStrike admitted under oath they had no evidence that Russia actually hacked the DNC.
Yes.
And we've talked about. But anyway, the news I have is this: so what we know from the public record is that CrowdStrike submitted at least 3 reports to the FBI, and the FBI used these reports for its investigation of the DNC hack. And these reports were redacted by CrowdStrike, including with Sussman's input. And so I've tried to FOIA these reports, get a Freedom of Information Act request to have them, because this is not national classified intelligence information. This is a private company's report, and it was used in this investigation, so why can't we see it? I've been trying for a long time to get these reports. I finally got a response recently, and this is what I got. I know for a fact there's 3 reports. The FBI, in response to me, they only acknowledged one of those reports, not even the other 2. And they, in terms of their production of material, they redacted the entire CrowdStrike report. So they didn't give me a single page of the CrowdStrike report. Man. And all they gave me was an FBI cover sheet from December 2016 documenting that they have this report and are using it for their investigation. Everything else is redacted, and that's on top of the 2 other reports they didn't even acknowledge to me exist when I know that they do. So there's I don't know if John Durham is investigating the CrowdStrike aspect of this, but if he doesn't, it's a travesty, because it's at the heart of this whole scam. It's what kicked off Russiagate. And given that everything else about Russiagate was a scam, there's no reason to doubt that this was too. And I hope that Durham's investigation will shine light on it, because it's so paramount. That allegation that Russia hacked those emails has caused so much damage, again, not just to the US, but the geopolitics, and the public deserves the truth about it.
Wow.
So when you make a Freedom of Information request and they send you back something that's 100% redacted, I mean, do you have to sue then later? I mean, how do you get that information?
I'm appealing, and then if I have to, then I will file a suit. Yeah, because again, this is like, I'm not asking for NSA material or CIA material. This is a private company hired by the Clinton campaign. There's no reason why it should be classified unless the FBI, relied on it in such a extensive way that it can't release the public. On the Clinton campaign's work product for such a consequential allegation as the Russian hack of the DNC.
Of course they did. That is what that means, and that's why they don't want to.
Sorry about the
interruption.
interruption.
Aaron Mate, everybody, thank you so much for your expertise in explaining all this stuff to us. Everybody check out Aaron Mate's work, mate.substack.com. That's mate.substack.com.
Oh, is he not with the Gray Zone anymore?
The Gray Zone as well. The Gray Zone.
Oh, and now we're also at the Gray Zone. You can see his work on and his show Pushback, which is on YouTube over at the Gray Zone's YouTube channel. All right, so nice to talk to you. Thank you for coming on, and good luck. Oh, you're also guest hosting on the Useful Idiots podcast with Katie Alper.
That's right. Every Monday and Friday. UsefulIdiots.substack.com.
Right on.
Do you do a show on Friday too? I didn't know that. I thought it was just Monday.
Yeah, we got two a week.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Talk to you later. Over to Steph.
Talk to you soon.
Redward, the NDP Canada's version of the Squad, is supporting Trudeau's efforts to crush the truckers. Yet more proof that shitlibs are no less a threat to civil liberties than far-right authoritarians. Fernando, capitalism is the crisis. Ben Redward again. Justin Trudeau now aiming terrorism financing laws at the truckers. All the terrifying saunas, food tents, and bouncing castles must be defunded at all costs. Civil liberties be damned. Covidius Maximus. Why does the Church of Trump worship a politician? At least God has superpowers and they traded it in for an orange man with bad hair. Wilbur Ross Rothschild's fund manager invested in Trump. Thank you, Rumble. All right, what do we have here, everybody? Oh, it's Michael Hidalgo. Thank you. The drunken scoundrel. FYI, the Dr. Z dog was anti-mask and vax hesitant. Anonymous. Hillary is obviously corrupt and exposed to have spied and created a Russian conspiracy. Why isn't she being arrested? What did we hear during the election? Lock her up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Michael, did
Trump
anybody watch the 100 Days last night for the elite Super Bowl or maskless? Oh my gosh.
I saw that.
Again, our mayor, Garcetti, he was there maskless. You know, it's
so
I don't think you
hypocritical.
understand, but you know, there were like hundreds of thousands of people there. How could you possibly, why would you need a mask? Why would you need a mask inside your suite upstairs as you're watching?
There weren't
the
hundreds
game?
of thousands of people there, right?
And then everybody's saying, you know, and then the kids had to return to school today wearing their masks.
How big could the stadium have been?
You're a kid and you see all those
Stay here.
She means
Right?
tens
You're
of
watching,
thousands.
you're watching the Super Bowl.
100,000 big person event, and then you got to go wear a mask
Right.
to school the next day.
Yeah.
Fucking, I would. I'm encouraging kids.
He's
to
smoking right now, I bet.
Poke holes in their masks. I'm encouraging kids to be nonconformists.
Jimmy, will you do a big screen behind you? So just in case we throw to you. Yeah. Do you want to say that again? Hold on, stand by. Okay, throw to Jimmy.
Hang on. Okay, now you can.
Okay. Yeah, the kids had to return to school today wearing masks.
I encourage kids to break rules, don't follow rules in school. I encourage kids to color outside the lines. Get thrown out of class. Hey, get thrown out of class once in a while, no problem. And mask mandates for kids are bullshit, so you should revolt. I'm telling kids to revolt.
You know, the kids who are watching this show right now. Because there are some
That's
high
right.
school
By the
kids
way,
that are watching this show.
And according to Fauci, everyone's going to get COVID likely. So what the fuck is the point of the mask at that point? If you're going to get it. And Omicron, once you get it, you get natural immunity. Isn't that great? Is Kurt coming? Okay.
All right, let me back to Steph, and I'll keep reading these.
Here, I'll do the story.
Oh, Jimmy's gonna do a story, folks. Back to Jim Jam.
So guess what? You know, how could there be a conspiracy global about COVID? How could you think they're talking with every doctor about? By the way, yes. My doctor told me that they had sent out, the CDC had sent out letters to every medical department in every city and state in the country, warning them, don't prescribe ivermectin or else you're going to get in big trouble. You tell me they're not 100% captured by big pharma. And so here's more of it. Watch this. South African doctor who discovered the Omicron variant slams pressure from countries to make the virus sound worse than it actually is. What? Because, you know, Omicron presents...
So freaking proud of himself. He does this every show, and I just can't take it, man. It always comes down to this. He's always got another piece of straw. And this is from the Daily Mail, who I won't even fucking give them. Dude, we've been live for 3.5 hours. Okay, I'm going to go. Listen, I love you guys. You're the greatest. For 3.5 hours. I didn't realize I was live for 3.5 hours, man. I'm going to get out of here, man, and give my doggy some attention. Where is my Beasley? My Beasley. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Come on over to Twitter. You know, maybe retweet some of the stuff between me and Jimmy Dore. Maybe like my comments. You know, get involved in the whole conversation and leave your comments and maybe put some clips of the videos that I've done, you know, in with your comments on Twitter. I don't know. Get creative. All right. Love y'all. Bye. I forgot I got to turn it off with the goddamn StreamYard, not the goddamn I got different ways to turn it off. God damn. Wrapped in yarn. Wait. You're new. Hello. Cheers, Nay. Okay, see you. Dommy dom dom. Yeah, man. I'm just going to say, Jimmy's trying to say it's not serious. It's serious. My friend couldn't let her dog out, okay? People still getting really sick. All right? People are still getting really sick. Does anybody know anybody who's really sick right now from it? Does anybody right now know anybody who can't do anything? Let me know in the chat right now. Oh, fuck off. How about that? You know a lot of people who are sick right now? Nick? Nick says he knows many people who are sick right now. Am I going to be live later? I don't know. You never know with me. I don't know. You never know. I don't know. You never know. I don't know. You never know with me. I'm out of coffee, so you never know. You never know. You never know. I got to eat dinner. I got stuff I got to do. I got to do stuff. I got things I got to do. Me doing some things. I'm going to do some stuff. Everyone's well? Good, 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 good. Good. I'm glad the flock is well. Keep them off those rats, bro. We'll be doing good. All right. I'm a podcaster entertaining you. Okay. I am a podcaster entertaining you. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Bye. Bye, guys. Big Bear. Big Bear. Big Bear. Big Bear. Big Bear. Bye, guys.